on.
Unbelievable.
One more for the record books.
Nothing's gonna stop us now.
At the buzzer, knocks it down.
Pick is up.
Yes!
He made it.
Yes! Reverse layup is good with 5 seconds left.
Put 6 on my stat. First title in program history.
Being an in-state kid, everything that I wanted in the school was right at home.
Every coach has a toolbox, and every tool is from another coach.
Camaraderie, be able to hang out with each other and be together.
Takes it all the way for the touchdown.
Led by a future Badger.
I'm very excited for this kid because he is brilliant.
What an absolute javelin toss. He's going to throw a jump pass and complete it for the 2-point conversion to Hawk.
I mean, we can see a lot of offense.
Put the exclamation point on it.
At the buzzer!
Wow.
It's good!
Oh, my goodness.
Do your best.
Thank you so much for all you guys do for high school sports.
Guys, I got goosebumps.
That's all anybody can ask for.
The biggest games, the most compelling stories, the area's best high school sports coverage. This is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
A new era for Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Yes!
I'm Hunter Vaughn, alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports,
yes.
Dennis Semrau. If you can't tell, he's excited as we begin our first season covering baseball. Not just a one-off baseball game, but we will have baseball all spring here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. And Zimbrick Honda has been a part of the Madison community since 1973. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations, one on Fish Hatchery Road and the other on Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? At Zimbrick Honda, buy 3 tires and get the 4th for how much?
$1.
That's right, just $1. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda. You heard Dennis Semrau there. He's excited. He is ready to go, as am I. Dennis, we've got baseball on ESPN Madison. Not just the Brewers, not just a one-off game, but we will be covering baseball all spring long this year.
I've covered the Brewers. I've been a Hall of Fame voter. I've been a big fan. Now, check this off my bucket list to get to call a high school game. So sweet. Do home talent in the summertime, where I get a lot of high school players that I've covered during the years. But to be here and to be at DockHounds Stadium, if you've never been here, exit right off the interstate. It is fantastic. A turf field, home of Oconomowoc plays here, Kettle Moraine plays here. It's phenomenal. And to have our first game here, the only better place could have been Sun Prairie, because that was the first turf stadium. But it's not all turf like this is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we've got turf field here at DockHounds Stadium, so we don't have to worry about that gross puddling that can happen on some of the other fields, and you just end up with a swamp in left center or something like that, trying to trudge through that if you're an outfielder. And on top of just doing baseball, Dennis, we have an awesome game this afternoon here on ESPN Madison. The Kettle Moraine Lasers, their first game of the season, and they take on the 2-1 Monona Grove Silver Eagles. This is a Monona Grove squad, Dennis. They've got their eyes set on Appleton, getting up there back to the state tournament. They'd like to do that for their first time since 1991, the last time this program did it, and they've got the players to do it.
And that was my first year actually writing for the Capital Times, and Mike Blang was their star. He ended up playing for the Badgers. His brother Darren played for the Badgers. Then, of course, Wisconsin cut baseball, which we don't have anymore, which is a sore subject on my part. But you look at the teams here. Monona Grove's been to the sectionals the last 3 years, sectional finals the last 2. And this is the team that you look around the Badger large and the Badger small, but the large in particular is a very good conference. Mm-hmm. And teams are going, okay, now we're going to get MG. They've had a lot of studs. They've got 9 guys, at least my last count, playing college baseball right now. That's incredible, including Caden, the coach's son, Kevin Connor's son, who's playing at North Dakota State, we just got 9 inches of snow.
Ew.
So be grateful that we're here and not there. And I said, it better him than you. And Kevin goes, sorry, son. Yeah, I'm glad they get to play. They just came back from down in St. Petersburg, Florida, baseball city, got to play 3 games at a complex that used to be the host for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Nice.
So he said you could see all the structure of when it was there, all the multiple fields and the pitching indoor and outdoor facilities, because they got a lot of rain in Florida.
Yep.
So you got to have some indoor facility stuff. But, Monona Grove had a 2 out of 3 when they were down there, lost their first one, went back-to-back, and they can't wait to play. And you got a Lasers team here with a new coach, Matt O'Sullivan. He was a pitching coach here for 3 years, took a year off, got married last June, and I said, you had to check this with the wife, and she goes, we met at Whitewater, where he played baseball, and she knows what she's getting into, and said okay, gave the okay, and he's excited. His first game as a head coach or manager. Here's something I want to ask you. We talk about coaches, and one of the newspapers I write for, Rob Reichel, is it's the baseball is always the manager when we write the stories. But you list it as a head coach for baseball. What do you think? Should it be manager or head coach?
I like for high school sports make it the coach because I think there's more to it than a professional manager. When you're we've talked a ton for those maybe that don't tune into any of our other high school sports coverage here on ESPN Madison. I think about we cover Mount Horeb Barneveld and their football coach Brett St. Arnold and how he talks about the other things and building these guys, these teenagers into young men and the growth that comes with that. So I like the idea of calling them a head coach.
We will refer to it as head coach.
Okay, perfect.
So we'll get that one right. One of the first ground rules we will lay in. And as you listen to our entry, our pregame spiel that's put together, and I go, yeah, baby, he's gone. Waiting for our first home run call. And I want to see what you got for us.
Well, it's going to be a tough one today here at DockHounds Stadium as the wind is blowing in currently from left center directly into home plate. I told our audio producer Riley Yauk as we were getting set up, it feels very similar to a spring game at Wrigley Field.
Oh, yes.
That wind coming in off of the lake. It's not coming off of the lake here, but it is coming directly into the face of the batters. So you really got to get a hold of one if you're going to get a home run. And speaking of that wind, it's going to make things a little chilly out here this afternoon going into the evening hours. Right now, it's currently 46 degrees. We've got wind chill to deal with, putting it a feels-like temperature into the 30s. The good news, though, Dennis, if any of these Monona Grove fans making the trip over, you know that they were tuning in to Channel 3. And high school sports fans, News 3 Now keeps you covered all day with weather you need to plan ahead. What's happening in the community and local sports across Madison and southern Wisconsin. Stay informed with the latest local news on News 3 Now. So fans bundled up here at DockHounds Stadium, Dennis, for this cold one. And I got to feel a little bad for the outfielders today because you might have to go out there, stand out there, not really do a whole lot, and just stand with that wind just barreling down your back.
Having played outfield when I was playing baseball and softball, the worst a pitcher can do is walk batters, and then your fielders make errors and have 30-minute half innings. On a day like today. But on the other hand, you'll see in between, most teams have the players that are sitting in the dugout running back and forth. They'll run lines in between, anything to kind of stay loose and stay warm. This is actually, not only is it the opener for Kettle Moraine and the first game back in Wisconsin for Monona Grove, these teams are in the same sectional.
Yep.
So this isn't a throwaway game, a non-conference where they're going to throw a lot of guys out there. They've got their pretty much. We're going to see what their starting lineups are. There's on both teams have a couple of positions where there's still some battles. Guys are going to get some opportunities, but we're going to get to see some really good players today. A Notre Dame recruit, Chase Stouty for Kettle Moraine, who's a center fielder, leadoff hitter, and then Cal Moreau. He's had a fantastic career at Monona Grove. And he's headed to play. I love it. He's going to Central Florida.
Yeah, go get away from the snow.
On a full ride. And anybody who follows college sports and baseball, baseball is not a sport that gets full scholarships.
Yep.
When I was working as sports information in Wisconsin, we had 35 guys on the team with a lot of guys with partials. So that says something about Cal. And by the time he's done, he's going to own just about every record in the record book. I think he's got top 5 finishes in 11 offensive stats and 7 pitching stats.
Wow, just incredible. He's one of the great players we're going to get to see this afternoon here in Oconomowoc as the Kettle Moraine Lasers host the Monona Grove Silver Eagles. As we go through the starting lineups, leading off for the visitors, Monona Grove, it'll be number 15, Cal Moreau. He'll be also the starting pitcher today for Monona Grove. Then in the 2 spot, it'll be Luke Chynoweth. Then number 24, Eli Bauler will be batting 3rd. Cleanup will be number 19, Brady Femright. Then hitting 5, number 1, Callan Habelwitz. Then batting 6th, number 8, Hudson Yinko. Number 3, Carson McConnell. Number 20, Logan Hansen. And then number 9, it'll be hitting 9, number 7, Mason Maybe for the Silver Eagles. As for the Kettle Moraine Lasers, leading off will be the center fielder, Chase Staudy. Then number 2, batting 2, the shortstop, Sam Scafito. Then hitting 3rd, number 5, the right fielder, Jimmy Angel.
Angle. There you go.
Excuse me, misread my own handwriting there. Then hitting cleanup, number 12, the left fielder, Owen Schultz. Batting 5th, number 32, the sophomore catcher, Sid Kowakowski. And number 6, the third baseman, Evan Miller. And number 10, batting 7th, the first baseman, Micah Witt Jr. And hitting 8th, number 4, the senior second baseman, Noah Smith. And in the 9 spot, number 7, the sophomore DH, Callan Myrick. We'll take a quick break for the national anthem when we come back. First pitch here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Hold your friends close and your rivals closer on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
To the question about what are we accepting, for all intents and purposes, we should be looking at the Sweet 16 for Badger basketball as our national championship.
Until something changes with how we spend NIL dollars or get NIL dollars, that is our ceiling.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Imagine the peace of mind knowing your home or business is safe 24/7. I'm Jeffrey Beckman, president of J&K Security Solutions, and we provide security you can trust. Serving Madison and southern Wisconsin, J&K Security Solutions offers state-of-the-art home and business security systems tailored to your needs. From video surveillance to home and business automation, to find out how J&K Security can help secure what matters most in your life, visit jksecurity.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Of the season. I'm Hunter Vaughn. Alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. It's Kettle Moraine, the home team. They will be out there on the field first, and on the mound it'll be number 22, Nick Sievert, the junior pitcher, mainly throwing fastballs and sliders. And Dennis, you talked to his head coach here before, leading up to this game, and he mentioned the Chris Sale arm slot for him. If you could explain more of what to expect for the fans watching on YouTube.
Just because from the other side, it comes from a different slot, so it's a little tougher to pick up. And for high school pitchers or hitters, it makes it a little bit more difficult. You know, the more experience you get seeing different angles. His stuff doesn't blow you away, but he's tough around the zone, and for him, he's got to be around the zone, limit the walks. Defenses again hate pitchers that walk batters.
Mm-hmm.
So and early in the spring, sometimes it's a little hard to get a good feel for the baseball, because of the cold. So we'll see how he starts out there. He also he bats lefty normally, but he's going to be DH for today because Coach O'Sullivan wants him just to concentrate on his pitching. He also will be on a pitch count. Now, for Monona Grove, Kevin Connor said his guys aren't going to go more than 40 to 45. But Nick should get about 60 to 65 pitches. In high school, your limit is 100.
Yeah.
And then you have to sit out 4 days. And it's very tough when you walk batters to get through more than 5 or 6 innings. So I expect him to be able to go maybe about 4, maybe into the 5th inning here.
We are just about set for our first pitch of the baseball season here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on ESPN Madison. And the first pitch, Moreau fouls one off for strike one.
4:31. Hey, that's pretty good. One minute off. Always check the times. Some umpires start a little bit early. I've always learned that when I was at Wisconsin, one of the favorite mantras for the coaches was always be on time, and his time was 15 minutes early, and that's mine. If you want to get to a game 15 minutes early, you won't miss the first pitch.
And Moreau fouls the next pitch down the third base side, so he's been early on the first two. 0-2 count for Cal Moreau, the star pitcher and hitter for this MG squad.
Yeah, batted .398 last year. The classic kind of a leadoff hitter. As you said, he played 1 year as an outstanding quarterback in football, but he decided to focus on baseball thanks to his work with GRB in the summertime. And when I asked Coach Connor about his team in particular, he said they had 9 guys that were playing GRB.
Mm-hmm.
So
we watched the ball go outside. And Moreau fouls one back over our heads. Luckily, I parked far enough away with the station vehicle on our trip over here to Oconomowoc that didn't get any danger of going back into the parking lot.
I'm sure Ashton will appreciate that, right?
Yeah, the bosses like it when I don't ding up the station vehicle. Yeah, guys, we're going to do baseball. I'm so excited. First game, baseball through the windshield. They'd be so happy with me. There's another ball down and away.
Well, I was in Ashton for a hometown game, and I thought I was protected. I had this big truck in front of me. It moved, and I took one off my windshield, and I got yelled at by my wife. And that was a hit by pitch.
Yeah, it just caught him on the shins, sending Cal Moreau over to first. So our first base runner of the season.
That was the 15th hit by pitch he's got in his career. It's third school annals. I'm sure that's one that not a lot of guys want to have on their resume.
Yeah, and I mean,
but
at least at high school, baseball hurts no matter what when you take one. But at least at high school, it's not into those upper mid-90s. It's not like you're taking a fastball from the Miz. That extra 20 miles an hour makes a difference. Strike one to Chynoweth. Got Cal Moreau on first here in the top of the first. And there's a wild pitch that's going to send Moreau over to second, going to the backstop and pulled in. That was a high ball.
It sailed a little bit on him, and little control issues here. Again, Moreau having that leadoff hitter being able to foul off some pitches.
Yeah, and now, too, you get that runner in scoring position. So some danger early with Monona Grove, and ball inside. 2-1 the count to Luke Chynoweth.
Yeah, Chynoweth, interesting. He had a follow. A legend, Tarek Verhaeg, was a 4-year starter, 3-time all-conference performer, playing some college baseball now. And he's done a good job here so far, according to Coach Connor. Last year he was the backup catcher, played some infield. But another guy had a great breakout summer for GRB, and He wants to win this. His job as a sophomore to win a starting catching job is pretty good feat.
Chynoweth swinging through a fastball. Evens the count 2-2. Cal Moreau on second off of a wild pitch. Catcher Kowakowski walking out to deliver that ball to Sievert. Give him a pat on the back. Let him have a little bit of time before this 2-2 pitch. Sievert's got the sign. Delivers, and Chynoweth fouls it off down the third base side, right into the hands of his coach. That was a nice snag. Barehanded in the cold. Keeps the count at 2-2. No outs here in the top of the first. Chynoweth fouls another one back. Chynoweth battling in this at-bat.
Yeah, 11 pitches here so far. Trying to run that pitch count up here early.
And Chynoweth will foul another one back, staying alive with a 2-2 count.
Cue some John Travolta.
To our 12th pitch and just the second batter of the afternoon. And Chynoweth sends one sky high down the first base side, and that goes 4 rows into the stands. So he'll get another pitch.
Ninth pitch coming up here. That's what you want for your number 2 hitter. Be able to get as many pitches. And Monona Grove's not going to try to steal a lot of bases. They're going to kind of go situational here a little bit early. Stole 5 bases on their spring trip in 3 games.
Sievert delivers, and Chynoweth fouls that one back into the backstop. You know, early on in the season, Dennis, this has to be a good sign if you're a Monona Grove fan, seeing these guys just fouling off pitches, battling and battling. If you're doing that early on in the year when these games get tighter, I have to imagine that's going to carry through to late in the season.
Yeah, showing some patience up there, but just foul off one until you get one that you can do some damage with. Oh.
And that is a strikeout. The umpire took a few steps back, had to see what he was doing that time. Chynoweth striking out. The 15th pitch of the inning, 10 pitch at bat, and it is a strikeout.
10 pitches. That's incredible.
Eli Bauler, the first baseman, stepping in, the left-handed hitter. Still has Moreau on second, and he takes a big cut at the first pitch, swinging through it for strike 1.
Yeah, you pretty good spring trip, batting 600, 636 on base. Drove in a run. Also, he's the number 2 pitcher, so he'd be the next one up this week as a starter.
Sievert delivers,
nice.
Swinging right through it is Bauler. This would be a big out if he can get Bauler to strike out and not allow Moreau to move over to third and get himself that second out. Sievert looking over to second. And Bauler will step out.
Yeah, unlike the majors, we do not have a pitch clock time.
Yep. So you can take your time, call for time. Sievert fouls one back into the netting.
Not another foul ball. I'm sure Sievert's going, okay, what do I got to do? But this has given Monona Grove a chance to look at his repertoire, see all that he's got out there. Moreau set the table. Let's see if Bauler can bring it home.
Sievert delivers, drop third strike. Or they'll just say a Strikeout, excuse me. I thought that was a drop third strike, but that'll be another strikeout. So after that hit by pitch, sending Cal Moreau over to first, and then a wild pitch, a long at bat from Chynoweth, we've got 2 outs, and that runner still over on second base for Monona Grove, and back-to-back strikeouts for Sievert.
Here we go with Brady Femmer right now, third baseman up. Hit .556 in Florida. Able to put up some runs down there. Enjoy the warm weather, I'm sure.
Sievert delivers, and Femright sends it high to center. Going back, the wind pulling that all the way over into the second base side, and Smith makes the catch for the out. So after a hit by pitch, it's 2 strikeouts and then a fly out to second to end the top of the first with no runs scored for MG. We'll be back for the Kettle Moraine side of the first inning after this on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
The News 3 Now First Warn Weather Team is certified for delivering the most accurate forecasts in the entire state of Wisconsin. Morning meteorologist Savannah Brito.
When you're making plans, the weather often has other plans.
Evening meteorologist Blaze Keller.
At home, at work, or on the go, when we know, you'll know.
Chief meteorologist Alex Harrington.
Our team has the experience you can count on and the accuracy you can trust.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather, keeping you ahead of the storms.
The sound of summer is back.
First offering to Freeland is a fly ball to right. It is high. It is deep. Bye-bye baseball. Second deck for Salvatore.
Your home for the Crew. 100.5 ESPN.
This is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. Interested in getting the highest level of coaching for the baseball player in your life? The GRB Academy offers individual and group lessons for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit GRB Academy for more information. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player. Dennis, things got a little scary there early on for Kettle Moraine, with Cal Moreau getting on with that hit by pitch, followed up by a wild pitch from Sievert that moved Moreau over to second. But then he really locked in and got dialed in for the next 3 batters.
Yeah, when you get a guy following off pitch after pitch after pitch, it's like, who's going to win that battle? And a big confidence boost when the pitch could come through and pull a string and get the strikeout. That was the biggie. Then to come back and get ahead 0-2 on your number 3 hitter, and then to get 1 pitch to the number 4 hitter. So he just went through the 2, 3, and 4, the most damaging part of the lineup, and shut him down. Now we'll see what Cal Moreau can do for Monona Grove on the mound. Kind of struggled in a trip to Florida in his one start. He went 2 2/3 innings, gave up a couple of earned runs, and kind of struggled there. But clocked at 92 to 93, according to his coach. This is a guy that's going to be playing college baseball. Also, with his work with GRB, got a lot of look by scouts. It's possible he could get drafted even this June.
First pitch from Moreau was a ball, and the second one is in there for a strike at 88 miles an hour.
Wow. A little fastball high.
Yeah, that fastball just a bit too high. 2-1. The count to the center fielder, Chase Staudy, junior for Kettle Moraine. Moreau delivers, and there's a strike in there to even the count at 2-2.
Don't need a time clock on this guy. He is working fast. He's getting up there and bringing it home.
Moreau delivers. Staudy fights it off back into the netting.
At this rate, we should have done an over-under on foul balls in this game. But with the netting here, they're not going anywhere. They're staying pretty much in play.
Yeah, you don't have to have the youngsters chasing down foul balls because you're like, we only have so many available.
No wiener calls at Mallard's Park.
And that'll be a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that just misses the plate. Full count. And Staudy fights off another one. Quickly up to 6 pitches in this first at-bat for Staudy with a full count, leading things off for the Lasers. And again, this is an important game to open up the season for Kettle Moraine. We talked about it in the open, Dennis, but these two teams in the sectional, you want those head-to-head victories when you take on anybody that you're going to see in the sectional. Staudy fouls another one off down the third base line.
Yeah, as Coach Sullivan, you know, the rep we have with Classic 8, how good the Classic 8 is with, you know, in football and in basketball in particular. Well, Kettle Moraine won the Division I title last year. Arrowhead was back at state, and ends up drawing a walk here. So both the leadoff batters get on.
That was a fastball that the umpire said was too high. So like Dennis said, the leadoff walk. But, yeah, Dennis, you mentioned how good the Classic 8 is at just about everything. And that's going to be a line drive down the third base line, rolling all the way to the wall on this second batter. They're going to bring Staudy around, and he'll dive in. No throw home. We've got our first run of the day.
So you get an RBI double for Scafito, and he's a Whitewater commit, one of the top returning pitchers for the team. That was a nice hit, just about 3 inches, it looked like, inside that line there. You could see it going down the line, and you talk about the speed for Staudy. Coach said good speed. Yeah, he got around, and there's no doubt he did not hesitate coming around third. Coach sent him home.
Now Engel up, fouls one off in front of him. Jimmy Engel, the senior outfielder, 6'1", 210 pounds. Coach described him as a power hitter, and he's got a runner on second. Looking to try and bring him in. Moreau missing high. 1-1 to Engel.
So they say walks kill, and that's the third walk that Moreau has issued and came home.
Two and one the count now for Moreau, as he just got a fastball in there. And that'll be a strikeout for Engel, by Engel, swinging through a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Moreau getting his first out of the inning.
That was a good comeback there for Moreau on Engel, who's headed for Eastern Illinois next year. He's got the most power on the team, so it was one of your long ball threats. He just retired.
And Owen Schultz up, swung through the first pitch, and then fouls the second one off now. So he's behind 0-2. Scafito still out on second. So he had an RBI double to bring Staudy around. We get the scoring going early in this one. Moreau delivers, and there's another punch out.
And we get the little theatrics for the umpire there. Kind of takes a few steps away and gives us that strike call.
Now I know what it is he's doing. The first time I saw it, I had no clue. He takes, for those listening on the ESPN Wisconsin app, he'll take about 4 steps away from where he's sitting right now behind the plate at about a 45-degree angle, take 4 steps, and then he gives just a quick punch-out signal whenever it's a strikeout.
Yeah, first time I thought he might have taken a foul ball or something where he came out of his haunch there.
Yeah, he stays hunched over as count evens 1-1 to Kowakowski, the sophomore catcher for Kettle Moraine, and he swings right through a 87-mile-an-hour pitch that was up high. 1-2.
He's got to be one of the fastest pitchers I've seen work. Cal must have a date tonight or someplace he wants to go.
Like, I want to get out of the cold is what I think it is.
Ooh, just outside.
At 87, we even up at 2-2.
Well, coming back after the first run there, coming back with back-to-back Ks. See if you can make it the hat trick here. Not on that one.
No, he watches 77-mile-an-hour breaking ball up at the chin. We've got a full count for the sophomore catcher, Kowakowski. Runner on second for Kettle Moraine with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
Oh,
and Kowakowski swings through it up high. After giving up the run, it's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Cal Moreau. 1-0 our score after 1 inning. Monona Grove back up to bat after this on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
1-0 our score after 1 inning of action. The Kettle Moraine Lasers able to drive in their lead-off hitter, Chase Studi, as he got a single. And then, he walked, and then that RBI double from Scafito, bringing him in to give us a 1-0 score. Gruber Law Offices has a reputation for winning. Their experienced, powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There is never a fee until they win your case. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the people and state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. One call, Dennis.
That's all.
That's right. Now Colin Habelwitz, the second baseman, will get things started in the top of the second inning for the Silver Eagles. Habelwitz, one of a number of football players for the Silver Eagles. He watches a ball low for the first pitch of this second inning.
Yeah, Colin, all-conference wide receiver. And also a linebacker in the football team.
And he sends a screaming ground ball right over to second base, scooped up, and the throw over to first in time. Noah Smith makes the diving play.
The pitcher's best friend. Good, solid interior defense. And that's one of the strengths Coach O'Sullivan thinks Lasers is going to have this year. He likes the pitching, and he likes the defensive core he's got.
Hudson Yinko, the right fielder, stepping into the batter's box.
He's another football player, tight end, and a linebacker in the football team.
He's ahead in the count 2-0 against Sievert. And he watches a pitch that was low and inside for a strike, just catching that bottom corner of the plate. 2-1 the count. And then a pitch that catches him as he had to jump forward and just clipped his heel. The second inning in a row, we've had a hit by pitch. Puts Hudson Yinko on to first with 1 out. The center fielder, Carson McConnell, up to bat for Monona Grove.
As McConnell possibly could see some action today on the mound.
He fouls off the first pitch.
And keeping with the theme, all-conference defensive back on the football team.
Jeez. It's almost like Monona Grove had a good football team or something this year.
Yeah, well, second place in the conference, only a 1-point loss in overtime to Wanakee. And what was that, level 3 they got to?
Yep.
With Homestead.
McConnell swinging through a breaking ball behind in the count 0-2.
A lot of good multiple sport athletes on this Monona Grove team. Kettle Moraine, a lot of those guys started out as...
There's a throw over to first that goes all the way to the backstop, sending Yinko over to second. He takes the turn at second and then has to slide back in.
Yeah, throwing error in the pitcher on the pickoff attempt there.
Hudson Yinko over to second.
And I hated lefties. We said they cheated. Move it. Get more guys, more pickoffs.
Sievert delivers, and it's a ball too far up high. 1-2 the count. Another runner in scoring position. Back-to-back innings. The Silver Eagles have had runners in scoring position. Let's see if they can drive one in here in the second. McConnell swinging through. It's a drop third strike. They'll throw over and get McConnell, but Yinko will take that opportunity and go down to third with 2 outs.
So you get hit by pitch, a throwing error, and a drop third strike, which gets the one runner over. You talk about small ball here, but somebody's going to need to come through with a base hit. Fly ball will not do it with 2 outs.
Logan Hansen up to bat. He watches ball 1 to begin his afternoon. Logan Hansen, the junior shortstop. Got a big strike zone at 6'5". And if you haven't guessed, he's another multi-sport athlete, this time basketball.
One of Danny Zweifel's guys. Yes. Zweifel, a good young basketball team we got to cover on ESPN Madison on PrepMania this past winter. Against Wanakee.
And Oregon.
And Oregon. Back-to-back games.
3 straight balls that Hansen has watched. There's a runner on third that Sievert's got to worry about with 2 outs. And this pitch goes through the glove of the catcher. Yinko will take home, and we are tied up at 1 apiece. And that'll officially be a walk for Hansen.
Walk and a pass ball on the catcher. That should have been caught. I mean, I'm sure he got crossed up on the pitch, but off the glove. And how do you scratch out a run? A hit by pitch, an error, a drop third strike, and a pass ball. But the scorebook looks like a home run over the center field fence. They got a run, and we got our tie.
We are tied at 1 apiece. That was almost quintessential Murph ball that time. Just scratch across a run any chance you can. Take any base you possibly can. We've got a visit to the mound now for Kettle Moraine as Sievert threw another ball. So some control going on, issues going on for Sievert, so they'll take the opportunity to head out to the mound and just have a conversation with Sievert, try and settle things down as Monona Grove was able to tie things up here in the bottom of the first. Our mound visits, Dennis, they're brought to you by Madison College, as Madison College has been around for over 100 years right here in the Madison community. They've grown to 7 campuses all across South Central Wisconsin, including 3 in Madison. Whether you're starting fresh or leveling up your career, Madison College is here for you. Learn more at madisoncollege.edu. That's madisoncollege.edu. And it's ball 2 inside to Mason Maybe.
A little symmetry there. They were our sponsor for our timeouts, right?
Yep, so
basketball
since we don't have officially timeouts, anytime we have a mound visit, maybe popping this one up. So it'll be over to second, Smith, and then the Wind taking it, and Witt Jr. will pull that in at first for the final out of the inning. We're tied up at 1 apiece through an inning and a half of action here at DockHounds Stadium. This is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on ESPN Madison.
It's bracket season, and Pizza Hut's got the watch party covered. Score a large 3-topping pizza for just $10. Try it on Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed crust. Crispy and golden on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside, and finished with garlic parm seasoning for that classic pizzeria vibe. Or get the original pan, thin and crispy, or Chicago Tavern style. Big flavor, big savings. Just $10. Your bracket might not survive, but this deal will win it all. Order today at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. Pizza Hut, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
We're on the Bucks.
They're showing Giannis that we're doing everything possible to keep you happy.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The Bucks have the power to force Giannis to say, I want out.
Madison's home of the Bucks. 100.5 ESPN.
This is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania here on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app. I'm Hunter Vaughn. Alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. And Dennis, you were saying in the break just how weird of an inning that was.
Yeah, no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 1 hit by pitch. The definition of small ball. And MG created it, taking advantage of some mistakes there by the Lasers, and we've got ourselves a ball game tied up 1-1.
We're tied at 1 apiece, and Cal Moreau will head back out onto the mound. He got 3 strikeouts in the inning, but he walked his first batter. It's a grounder over to short, a slow roller. It's going to be a close play at first. Hansen can't get the throw over in time.
Base hit.
And it's going to be an infield hit for Miller to begin things for the Lasers. So the third baseman, Evan Miller, gets that infield hit. Now Micah Witt Jr. Stepping in, and possible double play over to third, around the horn, and the double play gets them out of any danger.
A pitcher's best friend. A twin killing, as they say. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
The 5-4-3 double play.
Gotta love it. So we got our first double play of the new baseball season.
And then another first pitch swinging and a blooper over to second. Hansen takes a couple steps over, and he is able to get them out of the inning. 3 pitches, 3 outs, and we're through 2 innings, tied at 1 apiece here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs.
This is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. I'm Hunter Vaughn. Alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. So, Dennis, after Cal Moreau struggled in that first inning of action, able to get out of things with 3 pitches and 3 outs.
Yeah, 22 pitches in the first inning. Now that brings that pitch count down a little bit more normal. And, again, he's probably only going to be able to go maybe another inning or 2, 45, 50 pitches. This rate might get him into the 4th inning. But, again, it's a solid play by the defense for the Silver Eagles. That slow roller on the turf, you'd figure that the ball might get in there a little bit faster. But, able to beat out a base hit. And that was what Evan Miller beat out the base hit. But 5-4-3 double play and a line drive to short. And here we go. Top of the order here from Monona Grove.
Cal Moreau gets down a bunt down the third base side, charging in, but Moreau just too fast for the third baseman, Evan Miller. Cal Moreau gets on for the second time this afternoon.
And Monona Grove has their first hit of their baseball season in Wisconsin. Takes the third inning to get there, but yeah, you can see the speed of Moreau down the line. Beautiful ball, just kept it on down the third base line, and no man's land.
Throw over to first, Moreau back with plenty of time. Did like a half slide, almost stumble to get himself back to first. Luke Chynoweth in the batter's box. He struck out after a long, long at-bat and battling against Sievert. First pitch to Chynoweth, a ball outside. Kowakowski had to slide over to his right to keep that one. We've seen a couple of times on pitches to his right. He's had to really try and move over to snag them and had one wild pitch because of that. Once again, it's another ball outside. These haven't been pitches up in the zone, Dennis, so I don't think they're trying to throw over to see if Moreau's going to try and steal second. But Kettle Moraine definitely seems concerned with that. Chynoweth sends a ground ball over to short, stumbling as he gets up. Chynoweth in time. Scafito, as he got to his feet, had a little bit of a stumble. Wasn't in time with the throw. Monona Grove.
Tough play to make from the hole there, so infield single. So we go back-to-back, a bunt and an infield single, and runners now the runner in scoring position here. MG's threatening to take the lead.
Now Monona Grove bringing in a runner. It looks like Wes Henry coming in for Chynoweth to run over on first. Eli Bauler up to bat. He's going to show bunt and just able to get a piece of the ball, and it went backwards for a foul ball. Silver Eagles got Cal Moreau on with a bunt.
So number 13 over there at first base now.
Yep.
Courtesy runner. Courtesy runner here for the catcher.
Bauler watches a pitch go behind him, sending Moreau and Henry over to second. So now two runners in scoring position with no outs after a ball goes back behind Bauler. Bauler with a 1-1 count standing in. Sievert in some danger now. Bauler takes a big swing at a fastball up in the zone. 2-1 the count. Bauler not afraid to just take big hacks at pitches. We saw that in his first at-bat when he struck out. Wants to try and send one to I-94. And that pitch will catch the ankle of Bauler. Another hit by pitch. We've got the bases juiced in this second inning.
3 hit by pitches so far. So just what you want. Your cleanup hitter coming up with the bases loaded, no outs. Had double and 2 RBIs on the trip to Florida, batting .600 coming into this game.
Brady Femright at the plate. He takes a swing, and we had a foul ball go onto the roof of the press box here. And for a moment, I thought our video producer, Owen Dimfel, was going to have to try and get it in front of the ball, try and palm one to save our camera equipment. That's why I kept the window closed. I don't want to have to try and catch a ball here today. I don't need to embarrass myself by taking a foul ball to the chest. And Semrau lines one down the third base side, but it just skips foul.
Semrau, captain of the hockey team.
Another multi-sport athlete from Monona
my
Grove.
days with the Badger
this.
baseball team, we always had a lot of hockey players. 1990, when the Badgers won the national championship, Robbie Andringa and John Bice were on that team.
0-2 count to Semrau with the bases loaded here in the top of the third inning. Semrau, a bouncer over to Scafito at short. He'll fire over to first to get the out at first, but Cal Moreau comes around for another run.
Where Scafito could go. He had to go to first just to get it out on the play. He'd like to have been able to come home, but with with Moreau's speed on third base, there's no way you're going to catch him. So RBI for Semrau. We got 2 in lead, Monona Grove.
And a runner on second and third, and then a pitch in the dirt from Sievert, but didn't quite roll far enough away for anybody to try and make a run from third. As Wes Henry is on third, the courtesy runner for the catcher, Chynoweth. And now this one will go back to the backstop, and Henry able to jog into home for another run, making it 3-1, and Bauler moving over to third.
Second wild pitch of the inning. Yeah, Monona Grove out front, 3-1.
3-run, 3-1 lead for MG, and a ball that just goes foul down the first base side. It was almost a check swing.
Trying to punch the ball down the right field line. Go away with the ball, and almost did some damage there, but you get the bases loaded. You want to be able to get some production out of it. So far, 2 of the 3 have scored.
And that third runner is on third, with Bauler on third and Colin Habelwitz at the plate. Seaver delivers. Habelwitz, a chopper over to Scafito. He'll fire to first and gets the second out, but Bauler able to jog in, and it's a 3-run inning, a 4-1 lead for Monona Grove.
Sometimes the best offense is just to put the ball in play, make the defense make a play, which they did. But no way you're going to get the runner from third on that bouncing ball. So the top 3 batters in the lineup, Moreau, Chynoweth, and Bauler all have produced runs. Of course, Chynoweth had a courtesy runner, Henry. But anytime the top of your order can put something up on the scoreboard, it's a good day.
Hudson Yinko watches ball 1. Yinko, just in the last inning, he got on base with a hit-by pitch and then got around for the first run of the afternoon for Monona Grove. He's ahead in the count 2-0. Chopper over to first to Witt Jr. He tries to throw to Sievert, who can't get the tag.
Can't get over in time.
And Yinko, back-to-back innings, getting on base. With 2 outs, another base runner for Monona Grove.
Yeah, pitcher a little slow getting over there. That's one where that's a pure hustle. And that credit Yinko for making that play here, being able to get on base.
First pitch to McConnell. He swings right through it. The first strike of the at-bat.
It's one of the toughest plays to make, a ground ball to the first, where pitcher's got to cover. Got to come off the mound with a left-hander falling away. It's a tough play for the pitcher to make.
Pitch inside at the knees, 1-1 the count with 2 outs. It's been a 3-run third inning for Monona Grove. They've got a 4-1 lead on Kettle Moraine. McConnell swinging through. breaking ball that's down in the zone. 1-2 to McConnell with 2 outs and a runner on first. McConnell with 2 strikes watches a ball down, even things up at 2-2.
Came in batting .222 on the spring trip. Trying to get a first hit here back in Wisconsin.
McConnell will watch a third ball. Gets the count full. Again, a runner on first. Hudson Yinko getting the infield hit. Throw over to first. Yinko back in time. Got a little bit of a haircut, too, on that throw over. He had to duck a little bit as Witt Jr. was reaching over the top of him to grab the throw over. And it's another throw over from Sievert, and Yinko back in time.
This might be it for Sievert. He's got 60 pitches right now, so this could be his last inning. He's kind of struggled here today. And another walk.
And it's a ball outside. 2 runners on. McConnell works the count, gets himself on after he struck out back in the second inning, and Logan Hansen comes in. Hansen walked back in the second inning. Chance to load the bases up again if he can work another walk. He watches strike 1 here in his second at-bat of the afternoon.
That's tough. Only 3 infield hits is all that Sievert's allowed, but 3 hit by pitches and 2 walks. And Monona Grove's made him pay.
Thought about swinging at that one, but he's able to.
Take sign's got to be on. You want him to keep throwing the way he's been struggling there. Monona Grove's got to show some patience up there. Not too eager to swing at the first pitch.
1-1 count for Hansen. Runner on first and second and 2 outs here in the third. Sievert steps off, looks to second. Yinko able to get back in time with no throw over. Now Sievert resets to Hansen. Sievert delivers. That's a ball inside. Hansen had to dance back a little bit. 1-2 count. There's some activity over in the Kettle Moraine Lutheran bullpen. Or excuse me, Kettle Moraine, not Kettle Moraine Lutheran.
Oh.
A low throw, and the steal was on, and both runners safe as the throw over to third, not in time. Dennis, I'm surprised we're into the third inning, and it's the first time I've made that mistake of adding the Lutheran onto Kettle Moraine. They were in my conference in high school, Kettle Moraine Lutheran was, so I'm so used to that. Every time I see KM or anything. Now runners on second and third to Hansen, and Hansen gets walked. Bases loaded again in this inning for Monona Grove.
That pitcher warming up down in the bullpen's Tyler Gerard, junior right-hander, 6'2", 100-pounder.
We're going to have another Madison College mound visit. Again, Madison College, they've been around for more than 100 years in the Madison community. Whether you're looking to start fresh or level up your career, Madison College is here for you. Learn more at madisoncollege.edu. That's madisoncollege.edu. This is going to be a pitcher change.
Yep. 34 it is. Tyler Gerard coming in.
Tyler Gerard, our first call to the bullpen this year on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. Tyler Gerard, the right-handed pitcher, coming out of the bullpen for Kettle Moraine.
So Seaford only goes 2 2/3. And we'll see what happens here. He's still responsible for the 3 runners on base.
And Gerard Again, junior relief pitcher. Will throw a variety of pitches. He's got a four-seamer, according to the coach, a cutter, a slider, and a changeup that he can work with. So he's going to vary things up coming in relief for Sievert. Trailing 4-1 here in the top of the third on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. I'm Hunter Vaughn. Alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Browse their car selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda. So, Dennis, we've got Mason Maybe stepping up to the plate with the bases loaded for Monona Grove. Chance to really break this game wide open if he's able to get a hit in this situation.
Yeah, and that was Logan Hansen just walked for the second time, so no official at-bats for him today, but happy to get on base. He got
Dennis,
stranded at first in his last at-bat. We'll see if maybe he can come through here in the clutch. Break this game open.
I understand that that's not an official at-bat, so, the box score would show a 0 for 0, but then you'd see the 2 base on balls. I can't stand that.
2 plate appearances, yeah.
Yeah, because he stood in there.
Yeah.
He had an at-bat. There's weird things about baseball that you're going to find that I can't stand, and I'm going to let you know about them every time that I can't stand them.
Well, that's where the on-base percentage is. It's such a cool stat because that accounts for walks and hit by pitches.
Mason Maybe watches a pitch up high for our first pitch from Gerard. Again, maybe in the last inning, he flew out to first, and that was a
actually that was up to the second baseman.
Yeah,
it kind of drifted.
Well, it was
it.
I was going to say it started at second base, and then because the wind is coming in from left field or left center here at DockHounds Stadium, it drifted all the way over to first base. And that pitch is going to be skipped in, and we'll have another run coming over from third. Hudson Yinko gets around. His second time that he's scored a run. Advancing McConnell over to third. Hansen makes it over to second. And it continues on now, a 4-run inning for the Silver Eagles here in the top of the third. And maybe watches another ball up high, and we've got a hitter's count, Dennis, 3-1. Do you think he's going to have the green light?
Right down the middle, go for it, yeah. But I'd be careful on this one. Take a ball.
And that is a ball, and we have loaded bases yet again. Mason Maybe gets walked. And we've worked back through to Cal Moreau.
4 walks, 3 hit by pitches. 2 of the hit by pitches have scored.
And Cal Moreau watches a ball outside.
And we've officially batted around for the first time this season.
Gerard has to step off as he looks over to second.
So Moreau's got a drew hit by pitch and a bunt single. See if we can get one to clear the bases here.
With the star Cal Moreau at the plate and the bases loaded. He watches ball 2.
For your varsity starter, he is the epitome of a baseball player. This is the guy that the coach said he's got to be one of the best players he's ever coached.
Committed to go to Central Florida next year, but also could be somebody that gets drafted here this summer and he watches ball 3. I don't know if they're going to give Cal Moreau anything to hit. I think they might give him the Barry Bonds treatment and walk in the run to avoid him clearing the bases with his bat. Girard delivers, and that is going to be a ball up high. So Cal Moreau gets walked, and that will bring in a run. Now Carson McConnell makes it around. And that moves Logan Hansen over to third, and Mason Maybe up to second. With Cal Moreau on first, and we've still got bases loaded for Luke Chynoweth.
So in the 11th batter of the inning. And
Chynoweth this inning.
A lot of action. The outfield, all this action's been in the infield. The outfielders just kind of hanging out there going, at least give us a play to make here.
There's a strike to Chynoweth up in the top part of the zone. Well, and Dennis, that was something I asked you about pregame. I mean, with how cold it is, we're talking about wind chills today with the wind blowing in from left center. It's supposed to be 45 degrees, but the wind chill's down into the 30s here in Oconomowoc today.
Yeah, like you said, not a fun day to be an outfielder.
Yeah. At least the infielders, they get to move around. You know, you take those couple steps even towards the base whenever there's a pitch or things happen. I mean, this poor center fielder, Chase Stute, he's been standing out at center field this entire inning. It's a 6-1 lead for Monona Grove, 5 runs here in the top of the third. Chynoweth. There's going to be another low, wild pitch. That will bring in another runner for the Silver Eagles. Logan Hansen now scoring on another wild pitch. Bringing Mason Maybe over to third.
6-1
and Moreau to second.
7-1. 6 different players have scored here for Monona Grove today. I love that when everybody can contribute into the game. Yeah,
we get a strike that finds the zone. Evens our count up at 2 apiece.
Femright and Hobowitz are 0 for 2 and maybe 0 for 1 with a walk. They're the only ones that haven't scored.
Chynoweth has to lean back away from a ball that's up high. Full count to the catcher, Chynoweth. Got an open base on first. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. The Silver Eagles lead by 6. The relief pitcher, Girard, stands and delivers. It's a check swing and another wild pitch. It's going to bring in Mason Maybe for another score run, and we've got a walk as well, so runners on the corner, and it's 8-1 Monona Grove.
Not a good showing for Girard. He's walked 3 batters and thrown 3 wild pitches.
And so far, no activity over in the bullpen for Kettle Moraine, so they're going to leave him out there to try and get this final out.
Hang out there. And this got to be killing Matt Sullivan, who was a pitching coach for 3 years here, and a pitching coach to watch guys walk batters. That's just
well, and too, Dennis, I wonder if, Cal Moreau right now, he's standing over on third, so he's been out on the bases at least, but you wonder if this is a spot where maybe he doesn't come back out to pitch just with how long he's had to sit out there, and Bauler sends a screaming line drive down the first baseline.
Yeah, we'll see with Monroe.
Foul.
This has been an awful long inning.
By the way, Wes Henry back out there to run for the catcher Chynoweth as the courtesy runner. Left-handed baller with runners on the corner and 2 outs.
It does close the book on Seaver today.
Gerard steps off, looking over to Henry, the runner on first.
Yeah, Sievert finished 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 3 hit batters.
Ball up high. 1-1 the count to Bauler. Eli Bauler struck out back in the first inning, and then his first time up here in the third inning, he walked and then made it around to score. He's now behind in the count after fouling a fastball back into the net, 1-2.
And Sievert, by the way, threw 66 pitches, so that was in that 60 to 70 range.
So right where they expected him to be today.
But hoping he'd probably get 3 or 4 innings out of him, but not meant to be.
And Henry starts to steal, takes a couple of steps over. Gerard is just going to let him. Oh, excuse me. They're going to give him the balk. So that will score Moreau. Gerard stepped off, and now Kettle Moraine head coach Matt Sullivan is going to go out and have a conversation with the home plate umpire just to figure out what exactly was going on and why he called the balk.
Yeah, feel for Gerard out there with the 3 walks, and you like just see him getting out here, get out of the inning. But right now with the 3 walks, he technically does not have an ERA because he hasn't gotten an out yet. That's tough.
Yeah, and
early in the season, those numbers can skyrocket on you. And then it takes, so if you're a reliever, it takes a while to come back down.
I mean, we even saw that for Cal Moreau pitching down in Florida, an 0-1 record, a 10.5 ERA in just 2 2/3 innings. But, you know, you have one bad play by an infielder, and all of a sudden a couple of runs get in on a play that they should have been able to make, and suddenly your ERA skyrockets. Bauler sends a chopper down the first baseline. Keeps the count at 1-2. Wes Henry, the lone base runner, on second with a 9-1 lead here in the third.
In high school baseball, we do have a 10-run rule, but Kettle Moraine would have to bat 5 times.
It's a ball up high to Bauler, 2-2 our count. You know, I was going to wait an inning before I brought that up to you, Dennis.
Did not expect that in this game, but again, Monona Grove just taking advantage of the walks and wild pitches and scratching out a few hits.
A low pitch into the turf here at DockHounds Stadium. Can't say into the dirt.
This is a game that the batting averages aren't going up, but the on-base percentages are going up, which is another stat. You've got now with the
well, and we've seen
analytics.
And a number of the batters, they've had good long at-bats, like Bauler here now fouling another one back into the net with a full count. These guys have been working the counts in these at-bats, so it's not like these are – we had that one inning there of 3 pitches and the 3 outs from Cal Moreau. But even that first inning for Kettle Moraine, they were able to work some counts, really get into that pitch count in that first inning. So there's positives happening. It's another walk from Gerard, sending Bauler over to first.
His 4th walk.
And the second time this inning, Eli Bauler has
reached base.
Been up.
Bauler was hit by a pitch, and now a walk and a strikeout. He has 3 at-bats, and now brings up Semrau 0 for 2.
You know, he had a pop out over to second in the first inning, and then the 6-3 ground ball out earlier in this third inning. It's an 8-run inning so far for the Silver Eagles, leading 9-1.
Which scored a run. And that's
and a fly ball over to left, but it gets pushed into center, and Studi is under it for the final out. An 8-run top of the third inning for the Silver Eagles of Monona Grove. They lead 9-1. Kettle Moraine has some work to do, and they'll try to cut into this lead in the bottom of the third next on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000-square-foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
9-1, Monona Grove leads Kettle Moraine here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. I'm Hunter Vaughn, alongside me the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. And Dennis, Cal Moreau going to go back out there, so they're going to just work him up to his pitch count number, it seems like, even with that long third inning.
Well, if he can get a 1, 2, 3 like he did 3 pitches in the last inning, yeah, he could go 4. But it's a tough inning there for the Lasers, giving up 8 runs.
And the first pitch in this inning is a strike to the sophomore DH, Callan Myrick.
And the last inning, by the way, was 8 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 2 left on, with 6 walks and a hit by pitch.
Myrick fouls off the second pitch. He's behind 0-2. This is the first at-bat of the afternoon for Colin Myrick here in just the third inning. But this game's starting at 4:31, and we're an hour and 6 minutes into it.
It's his first at-bat. Meanwhile, the top 4 batters for Monona Grove have each batted 3 times today. So life's not fair sometimes.
Myrick fouls off another one. This is, again, Dennis, even this first at-bat here for Colin Myrick, Kettle Moraine having some good at-bats against a really good pitcher in Cal Moreau.
Yeah.
Myrick fouls off another one.
Yeah, Myrick just 5'11", 150 bats left and throws left. According to Coach Sullivan, this is a guy that big thing for him was just getting bigger and stronger. He's got a good baseball IQ, and they expect him to be actually one of the better pitchers for the Lasers.
Myrick fouls one off and loses his bat, skips over towards the Monona Grove dugout.
Thought maybe we might have a chance to see him today, but yeah, Gerard was supposed to be the first pitcher, and then Myrick was actually supposed to be following Gerard, so we could see him next inning on the hill.
Ball up high to Myrick. And, you know, Myrick, you mentioned him, the Coach O'Sullivan just saying he's got to get bigger and stronger. Myrick strikes out, looking that time. But that's one of those things, Dennis, you know, you and I from covering high school sports, you obviously much longer than I, but, you know, that's so common for somebody who's a sophomore if they're up at the varsity level. That's always the conversation, is just they just got to get bigger and stronger, which that comes with guys by the time he gets to his junior and senior year. You're weightlifting, you know, you just naturally you just get bigger.
And girls mature faster. You see a lot more girls playing freshman and sophomore year. And the guys, if you can play as a freshman or sophomore, that says you got some pretty good skills.
Chase Studi in a 1-1 count with Moreau pitching again here in the third inning. Sends a breaking ball low, 2-1 to Studi. Studi got the scoring going in the first inning. He watches another ball, 3-1 count. Got on after he was walked by Moreau, and he'll get walked again by Moreau. So even though he's been to the plate twice and he's even scored a run, Chase Stute yet to officially get in that bat. Again, ridiculous that that's a thing in baseball, but it is. And Stute again then came around to score off of a RBI double from Scafito. And Stute will take off to try and steal. The throw down to second is in time. The cannon from Luke Chynoweth gets the out at second. That was a perfect throw.
And Colin Hobowitz with the tag and the put out. And hit by pitch.
And then a hit by pitch sending Scafito over to first.
Well, you hit 3 of my guys, so I'm hitting one of yours. No. Hopefully that's not the case here. But
I'd be shocked if it was.
He plucked him in the back pretty good. And for Moreau, who can throw up to 92, 93 miles an hour, that one's going to leave a mark. So it brings up Jimmy Angle, who's headed for Eastern Illinois next year for baseball. It said he's got the most power on the team. When he hits in the cage, you know it's a different sound.
Yep.
It just, if you ever watched the movie
Trouble with the Curve? Yep, the sound.
I love that with Clint Eastwood.
That is a really good baseball movie, and he's able to send a ground ball through the gap over to right field. And we've got runners on first and second. Jimmy Angle getting on with one pitch and a single, moving Scafito over to second.
And that's the third hit of the game for the Lasers, matching the total for Monona Grove.
With 2 outs, got a couple of base runners. Swinging through the first pitch was Owen Schultz. Schultz, the 5'10" junior left fielder. And he'll send a fly ball over to the right side. Tracking under it was Yinko for the final out of the inning.
No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 left.
And it's a 9-1 ball game as we head to the 4th inning. Monona Grove leads 9-1 on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on ESPN Madison.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
What's next for Giannis and the Bucks?
Giannis was sold coming into the year on championship contention. They just have not been able to get on the same page about winning, about the future, about him.
Stay up to date right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Honda's presentation of PrepMania. With Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. And Dennis, I'd have to say this has been a fun and memorable first baseball game of our season here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. Excited when we get some games where instead of being bundled up with jackets and our hats on, we're able to put some shorts on and we're more worried about it being 80 degrees and guys staying hydrated.
Well, still remember that Stoughton press box for football.
The first pitch and a blooper that falls into center field. Luke Chynoweth.
So that was for Habowitz.
Or excuse me, Habowitz.
Single to center.
I was
so
off on my...
One for 3 now. And by the way, Gerard is back out there. He threw 24 pitches, ended up walking 4 batters and got the last out, got a third of an inning. So he is going to be getting his, which is why they weren't warming up anybody before, but they are now.
Hudson Yinko up to bat now. He watched the ball on the first pitch.
And I talked about Mirek. He is warming up in the bullpen now. He'll be the third pitcher today for the Lasers.
Yinko skying one over to the left side, just going over the netting down the third base side. Puts it even 1-1. Habowitz over on first with no outs. Here in the top of the 4th inning, and Monona Grove leading 9-1. According to our audio producer, Riley Yauk, that last half inning for Monona Grove where they scored 8 runs, that inning was, according to him at least, a 32-minute inning.
Oh, wow.
You know, the all-common 30-plus minute half inning. Yinko fouling one back. Habowitz was taking off to steal. Or it looked like they were actually, going for more of a hit and run that time with the swing. It's a 1-2 count for Hudson Yinko. He scored on his previous 2 at-bats. Throw over to first, not in time. Still a 1-2 count, no outs to Yinko with the relief pitcher Gerard out on the mound.
So that'll be a good one. Silver Eagles, you look for team wins. 7 runners have scored, 8 of the batters have been on base. The only one who hasn't was Semrau. But he had an infield grounder, which drove in a run, so he still contributed to the 8-run inning. The crooked number, as they say, and that was Monona Grove's philosophy. Get that crooked number up there early if you can. Put together, you saw the book that Monona Grove's coach put together? He leaves, let's put it this way, no stone unturned. The parents know exactly where the coaching staff stands and where their kid's playing.
Throwback over to first from the catcher Kowakowski, but Habowitz got back in time. They've had the hit and run on the last couple of times. Yinko just fouling it off instead of putting it in play. So Habowitz being very active on first, making Gerard think about him as a base runner with Yinko at the plate in a 2-2 count.
Now we can't hear it up here, but one of the mainstays of the Monona Grove program is every time they break the huddle, they yell, "We are champions," because we look like champions, we conduct ourselves like champions, we practice and play like champions. So no stone unturned. You will be on time or you don't play.
Mm-hmm.
That means meetings, practices, schoolwork.
That would have been my problem if I played for Monona Grove, that schoolwork issue.
They have a high standard.
It's almost like you have to be a student if you're a student athlete.
Yes.
Yinko watches a ball. I know, it's mind-blowing stuff. Being a student athlete and actually doing your homework. Craziness. Full count to Yinko with Habowitz on first and no outs here in the top of the 4th. Gerard delivers, and it is a ball up high. Habowitz takes off for second, and he is in, sliding in head first.
That was ball 4, but not.
And the scoreboard showed that was should have been ball 4. So I believe something was incorrectly put up on the scoreboard. So we're going to get another pitch here to Yinko, who is in with a full count, and he sends a chopper foul down the right side.
Habowitz gets the third stolen base of the day for the Silver Eagles. Yeah, it's the philosophy. Let's see if we can get some crooked numbers up early and then adjust as we need to. So as do you play small ball? Are you looking for the home run or the big inning?
And the ground ball over to second. Smith charging at it. Gets it in time over to first, but that does move the runner, Habowitz, over to third with just one out. Center fielder Carson McConnell scoring back in that long third inning. Struck out in the second inning. And McConnell sends one over to right, getting under at his angle. He can't play it, though. That will bring in the run from third. And McConnell in at second. So the wind just causing issues out in the outfield. Habowitz comes around to score.
So, do you think double? And then when the ball got away from him?
Yeah, we'll give him a double because of the wind. Well, we won't count that as an error. See, this will be the fun this spring, Dennis. You and I get to have the scorebook conversations. How are we going to score things? Because we've got to make sure our scorebooks match. I can't be giving guys an error when you're giving them a hit. Logan Hansen in.
And remember, the first hit's always got to be a good one. No cheapies.
Okay.
You never know if that might be the only one of the game. And you want to go, oh, geez, that could have been an error. I gave him a hit. Oh, ruined a no-hitter. So I've seen my share. The old
another ball, 2-0 count.
Old Black Wolf. I got to see a no-hitter when the Black Wolf were in town before the Mallards. A long time.
Logan Hansen with a 2-0 count, and he'll watch another ball up high. 3-0 count. A 10-1 lead for Monona Grove with McConnell out on second.
Hansen with a walk and a hit by pitch today. 6'5", pretty good big strike zone there. Mm-hmm. So for him to be patient, and he draws his second walk.
Yep, the pitch inside, 4 straight pitches, and it is a walk for Hansen.
And walk number 5 now for Gerard. And Hansen's walked all 3 times. So, as you said, no 0 at-bats, but 3 plate appearances. Walks. Wow. That's incredible. The walk fest continues.
Mason maybe stepping in, and it was a first pitch strike, but then a pitch down low, 1-1 count.
Eight walks in the game here so far for the Lasers pitchers.
Gerard steps off, looks over to second, doesn't throw, as McConnell is back sliding in time.
And 4 of those 8 walks have scored.
Myrick looks ready over in the bullpen, by the way, for Kettle Moraine. And then a pitch into the back of Maybe. Another hit by pitch, sending Maybe over to first. And it's bases loaded. With McConnell on third, Logan Hansen standing at second, and now Mason Maybe at first, bringing Cal Moreau up to the plate, Dennis.
This is a freebie game. 8 walks, 5 hit by pitches, a slew of wild pitches, and MG is more than happy to accept the gifts. It's Christmas in April.
Cal Moreau watches the first pitch ball. And he had the bases loaded and got walked. that brought in a run back in that long third inning. We'll see if they do the same thing and don't give him anything to hit. And, of course, as I say that, the broadcaster curse strikes, and it's a strike. 1-1 to Cal Moreau. And Moreau looks at strike 2. 1-2 to Moreau. 1-2 count for Moreau. Bases loaded. 1 out. Moreau swings at a high pitch, and that hooks foul down the third baseline. If that one would have been able to stay fair, Dennis, would have been off of the wall, I think. And with Moreau's speed, that one would have been interesting.
You do your scouting reports if you do due diligence, and this guy comes to the plate with the bases loaded. The opposing coach just wants to hide his eyes. He doesn't want to watch the next pitch.
Moreau swings at another high pitch, sends it back into the netting. Count stays 1-2. Again, bases loaded, only 1 out. It's a 9-run lead for Monona Grove. As Dennis did mention, there is a 10-run rule in high school baseball here in the state of Wisconsin, but they'd have to get through that 5th inning.
The home team or the visiting team, depending. They've got to get through.
Moreau, another foul ball, and that was a deep foul ball. We stay at 1-2.
If I was Coach Connor, I'd want to play a few more games here. I'd schedule anybody from this area over here just to play in the stadium.
Moreau sends a fly ball to left. The center fielder, though, the wind's going to keep that one in. As again, it just hooks in. He'll get the
sack fly.
The sack fly, bringing in the run from third. It's an 11-1 lead. So Moreau still doing his job, getting that sack fly. Bringing Carson McConnell in to score. And the catcher, Luke Chynoweth, comes in with runners on first and second. And Chynoweth swinging at a first pitch and sends it foul down the third base side. Two outs for Monona Grove here in the top of the 4th, leading 11-1. Chynoweth fouls one back behind home plate. 0-2 the count to Chynoweth. When money flows easily, your whole business runs better. Fewer delays and less friction. Starion Bank Treasury Management gives you just that. A real rare triple play of quick deposits, smooth payments, and strong fraud protection. Visit starionbank.com to get started today. 0-2 count with 2 outs for Chynoweth. Looks at a ball up high. Looked like a bit more of just a waste pitch that time. As Gerard was ahead, 0-2, now 1-2. Pitch skips into the turf, doesn't get far enough back for the runners to be able to do anything, so they hold at first and second, but we even things up at 2 apiece. Here in the 4th inning with Monona Grove leading 11-1. Gerard delivers. Chynoweth sends a ground ball up the middle. Throw over to first in time. Scafito with a nice play up the middle gets the 3rd out. 11-1. The Monona Grove Silver Eagles on top as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Every morning starts with questions about what's ahead.
At News 3 Now this morning, we're here to help you start your day ready and informed.
From the weather you need to plan your day,
To what's happening across our community and the 608.
and the consumer information helping you make smarter choices.
From your first cup of coffee
Or your third cup to the moment you head out the door.
Wake up with Chris, Kyrion, Josh Savannah, and Michelle Renee Quinn. News 3 Now this morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m. Weekdays, moving forward.
Brewers baseball is back.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone!
Tune in all season right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Come on! 11-1. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in the Madison area? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf. Dennis, the first game up in Wisconsin for the Monona Grove Silver Eagles, going just about as well as they could have asked, leading 11-1 as we head into the bottom of the fourth inning.
And now Alex Way is pitching, senior right-hander, number 10, is in for Moreau. So the last inning for Monona Grove, 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left, had a walk and a hit by pitch in that inning. They've got 11 runs on 5 hits, but 8 walks and 4 hit by pitches today, taking advantage of that. So the book is closed on Moreau with 3 innings. Gave up 3 hits, 1 run, and was earned with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk and 1 hit batter. But that is the book on Moreau. So we'll see. It's normally the shortstop.
Yeah, it looks like
and he's moved back to shortstop now.
Yep. So Cal Moreau, even though his day is done on the mound, we will see him out at shortstop. They make a couple of changes, and then
how about number at second base?
Looks like that is number 20, Logan Hansen.
Yep, shortstop. So he moves over to second. And then Habowitz was at second.
And Sid Kowakowski, the catcher, will lead things off in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Lasers of Kettle Moraine. It's a first pitch strike.
Yeah, Moreau just faced 13 batters today. 3 innings pitched, like I said, 3 hits, 1 run earned, and walk and 4 strikeouts. Pretty efficient day.
Way working quickly as well, as he's had 0-2. And Kowakowski fouls one back into the netting. And Kowakowski swings through a fastball, a strikeout for Way. First batter of the inning, a strikeout from Alex Way, the relief pitcher for the Silver Eagles. Now the third baseman, Evan Miller, stepping in, and he takes a first pitch strike. Way with the second pitch, a little low and going off of the glove of Chynoweth for a ball. 1-1 the count with 1 out. And the second pitch of ball, 2-1. So of course, just as I was going to say, Way really pounding the strike zone early on. Now back-to-back ball. Make that 3 in a row. To the third baseman, Evan Miller. The returning starter at third base for Kettle Moraine. And he draws a walk. The third baseman, Evan Miller, drawing a walk. He had a single back in the second inning. Gets back on base again. And Way sending a pitch over the head of Witt Jr., the first baseman.
Thought we might be seeing Kavinsky or Logan Donkers good. Another football player, power pitcher. But
and a line drive over into left. That'll get down for a base hit. The first baseman, Micah Witt Jr., with a base knock. And the Lasers with some base runners again.
Fourth hit of the day for the Lasers.
Just one less hit than Monona Grove, but in the important stat line, 10 less runs. First pitch strike from Way to the second baseman, Noah Smith.
So Lasers obviously trying to extend the game here. Otherwise, at this point, it would end with 5 innings. If they don't score at least 1 run here the next 2 at-bats.
And there's a slow ground ball over to second, only able to get the throw onto first to get the out. So Noah Smith grounding out to Hansen.
You'd like to get the lead runner, but in that case, just take the out. Stole a roller. That's the only play you had was to go first.
But it does move 2 runners into scoring position as well for the designated hitter, Colin Myrick.
We could see him the next inning. He was supposed to be the third pitcher up for the Lasers today.
And he was warmed up, and he was standing by the door. A low pitch that gets behind
pitch.
Chynoweth. Throw over to home, and that is safe, and we're inside 10 runs. Down to a 9-run lead. Third baseman Evan Miller coming in to score on that wild pitch. And that moves Witt Jr. over to third. 1-1 count to the DH.
The breaking ball in the dirt there. Tough to handle for the catcher. Trying to block it, but the ball squirted away. And runner at third, Miller was right on it. Coach Sullivan over there had him off. As soon as the ball hit the dirt, he was down.
It's another low pitch. 2-1 the count with 2 outs and a runner on third. Being Witt Jr. over on third. And it's a hitter's count 3-1. That one was low and inside. Myrick struck out looking last inning. And another wild pitch that's going to bring in another run, and Myrick will get the walk over to first. Back-to-back wild pitches, scoring 2 runs here in the bottom of the fourth, 11-3. The Silver Eagles leading, and with another wild pitch by the relief pitcher Alex Way, we'll have another Madison College mound visit. Madison College has been around for over 100 years right here in our community. They've grown to 7 campuses all across south central Wisconsin, including 3 in Madison. Whether you're starting fresh or leveling up your career, Madison College is here for you. Learn more at madisoncollege.edu. That's madisoncollege.edu. (11-3) the score. This was a 11-1 lead. Kettle Moraine able to plate a couple of runs to get inside that 10-run rule. So, Dennis, that's what we get for talking about the 10-run rule last inning. Chase Studi, the leadoff hitter, now up with a runner on first and 2 outs. He watches a ball high. And now a strike that gets in. And now Staudy watches a ball, 2-1. And Staudy gets a ground ball over to the left side. That gets through for a base hit. And with 2 outs, it's 2 runners on. Myrick moves over to third, and Staudy with another hit. Excuse me, his first hit, he had the first run, but yeah, he's walked twice.
And no multiple hits in the game so far.
First pitch swinging and fouled from Scafito. He's able to get it into the strike zone.
Nice pitch.
For an 0-2 count. Chance to get out of the inning on this next pitch. Way delivers, and it's outside for ball 1.
Watching the catcher trying to frame that pitch there, give the pitcher a little help, but
yeah, he doesn't have ABS that he has to worry about, so he can frame, and he is able to do it. Strike out looking. Gets way out of the inning, only giving up the 2 runs. 11-3 as we head to the 5th. Monona Grove Silver Eagles lead the Kettle Moraine Lasers 11-3 here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
11-3, the Monona Grove Silver Eagles lead here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. Stoughton Health has been providing trusted care close to home, and they are proud to support student-athletes from around the area. From rehab to ortho care, Stoughton Health provides comfort and convenience locally. Visit stoughtonhealth.com to learn more today. So, Dennis, I know it was only the 2 runs, but with the way that Way kind of struggled there for these couple of this last inning for Monona Grove, is there any thought to some maybe early pitching concerns or anything like that? You know, not able to kind of put your foot down on a team? I know it's early on in the season.
No, it wasn't listed as one of their pitchers coming in.
So it's kind of like putting a position guy out there.
No, giving the guy some work when you got 10 runs to work with, that you just let him get out there and throw and get comfortable. That was his first high school appearance. So
okay.
Anytime you get to make your debut out there. And Mirek, the DH, now is pitching for the Lasers, another lefty.
Mirek pitching to Eli Bauler, the first baseman for Monona Grove. His first pitch was a ball.
And the book is closed on Gerard. He went 1 1/3 innings and gave up 4 runs, all earned on 2 hits with, let me see here, no strikeouts, 5 walks, and a hit batter.
Bauler watches a strike catch the plate, 2-1 the count as we open up the 5th inning.
Kind of a tough day for the two, for Seifert and Gerard to start out with today.
And Bauler is a screaming ground ball right into the glove of Noah Smith, and he makes the throw with plenty of time over to first for the first out.
Right now up.
Third baseman Brady Femright. And he goes first pitch chasing right out to center field and directly into the glove of Staudy. So just a few pitches and 2 fast outs in the top of the 5th for the relief pitcher Callan Myrick. Habelwitz swinging through the first pitch for a strike. Leading 11-3 are the Silver Eagles here in the top of the 5th.
Habelwitz a couple of infield ground balls and a single.
And Habelwitz has to step back for the first ball of the at-bat. 1-1 the count. Habelwitz fouling off the next pitch over the first base side, going deep into the seats here at the DockHounds Stadium. 1-2 now for Habelwitz. Pitch skipping into the catcher Kowakowski, even the count 2-2. 2 outs for Monona Grove. Myrick delivers, and Habelwitz just getting a piece of it. He was out in front of that one and just caught a little bit of the bat to be able to foul it off and stay alive. Myrick delivers. Habelwitz, again, fouling one off, this time down the first base side. We stay even at 2-2. Habelwitz tried to fight this off, but it pops up over to Miller at third and into foul territory, backing up for the final out of the inning.
And
so
I do believe we had our first legitimate 3 up and 3 down. We had a single and a double play, 3 batters in the second for Kettle Moraine when they were up. But the first time, Kettle Moraine's got the Silver Eagles 1-2-3.
11-3 after the top half of the 5th. Kettle Moraine tries to cut even further into this lead, down 11-3. Next on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
I worried that I couldn't work a full-time job and still have time for college. But I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. At Madison College, I found my stride. My classes are flexible and hands-on, and I walk on campus feeling inspired. My advice to others? Make your dreams a reality. There's more to your story at Madison College.
Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
We're on the Bucks.
They're showing Giannis that we're doing everything possible to keep you happy.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The Bucks have the power to force Giannis to say, I want out.
Madison's home of the Bucks. 100.5 ESPN.
Heading into the bottom of the 5th inning, Alex Way, the relief pitcher, will stay out there for Monona Grove. I'm Hunter Vaughn. Alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. So, Dennis, we just had that one long top of the 3rd inning. Otherwise, most of these innings have moved fairly quickly, I would say.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you walk a lot of batters. You know, we had 4. I think we what do we have at that one stretch? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6 consecutive walks. And reminds me of my days coaching youth baseball, where you'd have walks, strikeouts. Maybe somebody would hit the ball once in a while, remember my son was out there, Dad, I'm bored. And I turned around and laughed. I looked at somebody in the stands and said, yeah, I don't blame him. You just standing out there for 30 minutes. So you like the game to pick up a little bit faster here, but this is the boys this spring. After basketball season, we take our time here.
There's a 2-1 count to Angle, and then he pops one up over into left field. Chasing underneath it was maybe, and he is definitely able to make the catch.
Nice running catch there just inside the left field line. I'd love to see that. Good play and converging there, and that was his ball to call off. So anytime the ball goes up, coaches get nervous. It gets up in the outfield, and you see it at the major leagues. Guys can't hear, or the outfielder's coming in is supposed to make the call, but the infielder wants that ball too.
Schultz watched the first pitch ball and then fouled one off for a first pitch strike. Dennis, I'm so disappointed you didn't even catch my little play on words there. I said that maybe most definitely made the catch. And you just flew right past it. I'm so disappointed. Normally, I say something like that. You're on it right away.
Right on it.
It's early on in the baseball season. We're getting warmed up.
Get all my paperwork here together. Here. Right.
Schultz looks at a ball 3 in the dirt, 3-1 count with 1 out. And it'll be a walk for Schultz. So Angle flying out to left to start off the inning, and then Schultz gets on base with a walk.
First time on base for him, and third walk here for Way now.
And it's a chopper from Kowakowski over to short. Only play is going to be the throw to first for Moreau, and that gets Kowakowski. Moving Schultz over to second.
Again, smart play. Get the out. Good charge and got the glove down. Nice scoop and throw.
Evan Miller, the third baseman, stepping in with a runner on second. Thought about for a moment going after that first pitch, but instead holds up, and it's a ball 1. 1-0 count with a runner on second and 2 outs. And Miller pops one up over to right, and Yinko able to get underneath it for the third out of the inning.
No damage or walk, 1 base runner left.
Through 5 innings, 11-3, the Silver Eagles still lead Kettle Moraine with just 2 innings left to go here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Join Stoughton Health Ortho Team Clinic's Dr. Ashish Raval for a free online event on knee ACL healing. Wednesday, April 8th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Dr. Raval will explain how ACL injuries occur, symptoms to look for, and the latest innovative treatments that support better knee recovery. This session is great for athletes, active adults, parents, and anyone wanting to better understand knee health after an ACL injury. Register today at stoughtonhealth.com under classes and events.
Brewers baseball is back.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
Tune in all season right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
11-3 through 5 innings. Monona Grove leading Kettle Moraine. That 8-run third inning. Just really what did it in this one for Monona Grove to get that lead.
I wanted to ask you about what did you do on your Easter, being that some Brewer baseball games have had some fantastic Sundays. Did you watch Brewers yesterday?
No, I didn't, because I don't have any of the things to be able to watch them. So I listen to them, though, when I have a chance. I was with my family on Easter, so didn't get a chance to tune in, being that ESPN Madison is the home for the Milwaukee Brewers in Madison. So if you're tuning in here on the ESPN Madison YouTube or on the listening on the ESPN Wisconsin app, we've got all the Brewer games on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
That was my point of Easter Sunday. I can't believe we're already 2 weeks into the Major League season, and that we're actually playing the first week of April in spring baseball. You know, with the way the weather can be.
That is rare. It's surprising how good the weather has been for us to be able to get some games in. I know Kettle Moraine, this is their first game of the year. Yinko fouling one off. He's ahead in the count 2-1 here in this at-bat, but yeah, the Kettle Moraine was supposed to play Beaver Dam back on the 2nd. That game will be played now tomorrow here at DockHounds Stadium as they'll take on the Golden Beavers. Yinko sends the ground ball over to Smith at 2nd. Makes the play over to 1st for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Yinko 1 for 3. Second time he's grounded out to second base. Put the ball in play here. Now, if you're Monona Grove, you just want to get some good at-bats, good looks. Put the ball in play.
And McConnell puts the ball in play, sends it right back up the middle for another base knock for Carson McConnell.
And I believe he is the first batter to have 2 hits today. McConnell with a double back in the 4th inning. Now 2 for 3 and a walk, 2 runs scored. Very productive afternoon.
Bringing up the shortstop, Logan Hansen. Well, he started at shortstop, but with Cal Moreau moving over to short, that moved Logan Hansen to the other side of second base to second base. 1 out and a runner on first. Something for us to keep our eyes on is some of the clouds breaking up here in Oconomowoc. Some of the players having to shield their eyes. First pitch swinging from Hansen. Sends it foul over the first base side. So I was looking over, and Michael Witt Jr., the first baseman, having to shield his eyes from the sun as he was paying attention to Myrick, his pitcher, to make sure that he was able to see what's going on. Hansen now grounding down the third base side, foul. 0-2 to Logan Hansen.
Still waiting for his first official at-bat today. He's got 3 walks. So he's doing a good job there just getting on base. And that walk in the 8-run 3rd inning, he scored off of.
Throw over to first, not in time. McConnell gets back safely.
Yeah, you got to watch those lefties, those pickoff moves. Too far. It's another difference. Baseball, you can throw over as many times as you want in high school. You can only throw over twice in the major leagues now.
Do you like that with Major League Baseball?
No, I think they tinker around too much with the rules. I'm a traditionalist for a lot of things. That extra runner, that's a softball rule. Extra runner in extra innings.
Down low, 2-2 the count now to
extra
Hansen.
Base, safety at first. Anything that can add to the safety of the game, I'm all for. But you get people sometimes that just want to tinker with things and don't mess with it.
2-2 to Hansen. Checks his swing, a ball low. Full count now to Logan Hansen.
Logan Hansen looking like he wants to lead the team in walks this year and doing a pretty good job of it.
I mean, that's nothing to, be ashamed of at all, because now he sends a grounder over to Smith, turns to second, and they get the double play. The 4-6-3 double play to end the inning, 11-3, going into the bottom of the 6th. Kettle Moraine was just 2 more opportunities to try and get back into this one. This is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
The sound of summer is back.
First offering to Freelick is a fly ball to right. It is high. It is deep. Bye-bye baseball. Second deck for Salvatore.
Your home for the Crew. 100.5 ESPN.
11-3 heading into the bottom of the sixth inning here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. I'm Hunter Vaughn, alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. We now have another pitching change for Monona Grove.
That's Carson McConnell.
And Carson McConnell, the center fielder, now moving in to pitch for the Silver Eagles of Monona Grove, coming into today. Doesn't have a win on his or a loss on his record, but he's thrown 2 innings coming into today with a 3.5 ERA. So the center fielder coming in relief here into the sixth. Dennis, I'd have to imagine for McConnell, he's probably being told, hey, you've got this inning and next inning.
Yep. Finish it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the save opportunity, though, leading 11-3.
All right.
But
closed the book on Way with 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. Did not hit a batter. Hey.
There you go.
The first.
That's always a big win.
Only the second. Murak and Way did not hit batters, but the other 3 pitchers did today. So, yeah, a little control issues early.
Micah Witt Jr., the first baseman, standing in for Kettle Moraine. A first pitch ball from McConnell. And Witt Jr. grounding into a double play back in the second inning, and then got on base with a single, and then a couple of wild pitches moved him over to second or to third, as well as then scoring off of that. And he's ahead early in the count now. 2 balls, no strikes. And McConnell now make that 3 balls. McConnell just missing the zone on these first 3 pitches. And the last one is a ball well outside for the walk. Micah Witt Jr. getting on base for the second time this afternoon. Now number 4, Noah Smith, stepping up to the plate. McConnell delivers a ball low and inside. 5 pitches for McConnell. All 5 of them have been balls.
And 6 walks now for the 3 Monona Grove pitchers.
And that's another ball to Smith. And, you know, Smith, this is going to be one of those tough spots for McConnell, especially when, you know, talking with Coach Matt Sullivan for Kettle Moraine. It was the first strike of the afternoon from McConnell. But Smith described as a guy that just always does the right things defensively, and he has quality at-bats. And you've got a coach talking about your quality at-bats for a guy. It's always going to make things difficult if you're having trouble finding the strike zone. Smith fouling one off over the third base side. Now 2-2 the count.
Plenty of room there on the sideline. The sideline's down to the left field corner there, a little tight. But plenty of room for fielders to make plays normally, but that one got out of play.
You have the field layout. We've got a throw over to first, not in time. Keep Witt Jr. Just reminding him, hey, I know you're there. Sort of a spot, but the foul territory, Dennis, it stays equal or parallel with the baselines along the dugouts, but then as you just get past the dugouts, it angles then in straight towards the foul pole on each of these sides. So the further back you go, the less foul territory you get here at the DockHounds Stadium.
Yeah, Coach Sullivan said 320 down the line. Center field's about 380, 385, and the alley and right, that's the 390. Takes a good poke to get it out of here there, but it's a good park for high school, for the semi-pro, whatever. Maybe
full count now.
Maybe you can get one in down the lines here.
Yeah, I doubt we're going to get to see a home run here today with the way the ball's been moving and the flags flying almost straight out coming from left center. The wind is.
See, that's
foul ball back into the netting.
That's your reverse philosophy, jinx. If you said there's not going to be a home
run.
Yeah,
but now that you said it, now you've jinxed the jinx, Dennis. That's how this works. I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. Full count, nobody out, runner on first.
Hey, we have our basketball and football ones. We got to get our baseball ones in here.
Exactly.
Oh, baby.
And a strike out looking.
Oh, the umpire gets into that little strut. He gets that 2-3 steps, and then it's an out.
Strikeout looking for our first out as Noah Smith heads back to the dugout. McConnell gets his first K of the afternoon, and the DH and relief pitcher Colin Myrick stepping in to the left-handed batter's box with a runner on first. Shows bunt, but the pitch is up high, so he pulls back.
Yeah, so McConnell with a walk and a strikeout. Let's see what he can do with his third batter. Trying to keep the runner close there at first for a potential double play.
And another showing bunt attempt. Wasn't able to get back in time, or actually, excuse me, I think it was wasn't able to make contact with it. 1-1 the count with one out for Myrick. And Myrick swings with the one strike and fouls it back into the netting 1-2. Myrick walked back in the fourth, made it to second. But didn't get any further than that, and the ball down low at the feet evens things up at 2 apiece. Kind of looking over to first. Now sets and delivers, and it's another ball down low. Full count again. Last at bat against Noah Smith. He got the strikeout looking. Can McConnell do it again? And Myrick able to slap it over to the left side for a base knock. Moves Witt Jr. over to second. And we head back to the top of the order here in the sixth now with 2 runners on. Chase Staudy, the center fielder, coming up again. He got the scoring going after he walked in the first and then made it all the way around on a double from Scafito to get the first score. Cal Moraine leading after that first inning, but then it's been all Monona Grove since.
Study on 3 times, 2 walks.
McConnell bouncing that one in. The throw over to third goes past the third baseman and into left field. Semrau couldn't catch that. The wild pitch advances the runners over to second and third. So a pair of runners in scoring position off of the wild pitch. Staudy ahead 2-0. Staudy fouls one back over the left field side for the first strike of the at-bat. Again, just 1 out, so now, unless something disastrous on the base paths happen for Kettle Moraine, you're not going to be able to get the double play with nobody on first. You got a ton of speed with the center fielder, Staudy, up at the plate. He fouls another one back over the left side. 2-2 now to Staudy.
Yeah, Coach Sullivan said Staudy was a former basketball player, but like a lot of his teammates, decided to focus more on baseball with the GRB and a lot of travel teams in the Milwaukee area.
Staudy a check swing down the first base side. The first base coach couldn't quite corral that one, so now he has to take a little jog to go get that ball from over by the fence.
Yeah, when I used to coach in the area, it was you had Babe Ruth Senior League, you had American Legion, and now all these travel teams, the GRB and other groups have put together. It's a whole different ball game.
Ball up high, and we have another full count. It's the third batter now for Kettle Moraine in this inning to get a full count with just one out and runners on second and third. McConnell delivers, and it is low and inside, loaded bases. Chase Staudy gets on base again, this time with another walk, his second time he's walked today.
Actually, third time. Right?
Oh.
First and the third.
Yep, first and the third.
Yeah.
I saw that he had scored, and I was just like, oh, that's a hit.
3, 4,
Scafito.
5, 6, 7 walks now for Monona Grove.
He struck out looking back in the fourth, was hit by a pitch in the third, made it over to second, and he again had that double to bring in the first run of the game, and we've got another Madison College mound visit. Whether you're starting fresh or leveling up your career, Madison College is here for you. You can learn more by visiting madisoncollege.edu. That's madisoncollege.edu.
Speaking of baseball programs, Madison College.
Yes.
One of the best
Excellent
college programs in the country.
Excellent baseball for them. But, you know, Dennis, you're talking about all the different leagues that they've had, and now places like the GRB Academy becoming even more possible. You know, baseball's just, of any of the sports, and including to softball on the girls' side, there's just the more reps that you can get in that sport compared to any other sport is just so big. Hence why places like that have really exploded and become such a big thing.
I'm jealous when we could get outside, or anytime we could throw a baseball in the wintertime was a treat.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there, if it got in the 30s, you say, hey, let's go and play catch. But now when you got facilities,
Scafito watches another ball. 2-0 count. Scafito popping one up into the right field foul territory, chasing after it, but can't quite get there as it's just out of the reach. The first strike of the at-bat.
Yeah, after that 8-run inning, MG was looking pretty good here, but 11-3, they're not. You get a couple of base knocks here, and Blazers are right back in it.
Scafito watches a strike, evens it up at 2 apiece. You know, Dennis, you mentioned especially in the wintertime here in Wisconsin, just any opportunity you can get to be able to throw a baseball around or do anything like that if you like that sport. Scafito fouling one back into the dirt, stays even 2-2. I'm always reminded of, I went to UW River Falls for a year for college, and for those that don't know, you're basically in Minnesota when you're up there. You're closer to the Twin Cities than you are to Eau Claire. It's that way up there near the border, and we would do bunting practice or play catch in the dorm hallways. And then one of the guys on our floor, he for a little bit pitched Division II baseball. I was expecting a curveball. He threw a fastball, and I took a tennis ball to the side of the face. A ground ball over to short. No play at all from Moreau. That scores a run.
Infield hit there in the hole, and the good job just hanging on to it. You don't want to throw it away. And
Witt Jr. comes in to score.
Engel gets his first RBI of the season.
And now we'll have another mound visit. Again, mound visits this baseball season brought to you by Madison College. Carson McConnell is going to head to the dugout, and they'll make another pitching change, will the Silver Eagles.
Excuse me, that was Scafito. That's his second RBI.
Yep, Scafito getting the RBI that time. We keep the bases loaded with one out here in the bottom of the sixth. 11-4, the Silver Eagles of Monona Grove leading the Kettle Moraine Lasers. This is the first game of the season for Kettle Moraine. Again, they were supposed to play a game back on April 2nd, but that got rained out with that gross weather that we saw back on the 2nd. So this is the first game of the year for Kettle Moraine. Monona Grove played a few games down in Florida. Now coming into pitch, it'll be Colin Habelwitz, the senior, one of the many multi-sport athletes for the Silver Eagles. Habelwitz on the year, a 21 ERA in 2/3 of an inning pitched. But again, as we talked about with Cal Moreau earlier in the game, Dennis, you know, this early in the season, that ERA number can be really deceptive. So all it takes is a couple of misplays from a fielder, and all of a sudden that ERA can just balloon on you until you get more innings in. Habelwitz will get some warm-up pitches in, again leading 11-4 here in the bottom of the sixth inning. I'm Hunter Vaughn, alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. Again, this is the first baseball game of the year for us here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. We will have more games throughout the season. This isn't just a one-off for this one single game this year, and so we'll be covering area high school sports. For those who are familiar with the way that we cover football and basketball in the Madison area, we find what we are the games of the week, or the best matchups for the week. So our next matchup, we're looking at April 16th, a rivalry game, Dennis. Sun Prairie East at Sun Prairie West for our next game here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. Sun Prairie East, a team like Monona Grove, they have their eyes set on getting up to state up in Appleton.
I think growing up as a Cardinal, they think it's their birthright to go to state, and that is a credit to Hall of Fame coach Rob Hamilton. Great program, and now that they're split into two schools, it's a little tougher, but Sun Prairie is still good baseball community. And being from Middleton District, another baseball community, incredible.
Angle fouling off a bunt down the third base side for the first strike of the at-bat, and then watches a high ball 1. 1-1 to Angle. He struck out back in the first, got to first on a single, then in the third, and then he flew out to left field just the last inning.
Yeah, speaking of Sun Prairie, the Feiner family, remember back in the day when I was with the Cap Times, they built their own baseball diamond behind their house.
Wow.
And now ran into Casey, who was a state wrestler. He's got a son, Cooper, that was at state wrestling, and is going to be our first profile next year. 3-sport athlete. We're already lined that one up.
You're already calling your shot for next year.
Sure.
We're in spring sports season has just kicked off, Dennis, and you're already calling your shot for next fall.
Yep, UW Credit Union. He's a baseball wrestler, football, and
we've got a full count to Angle, and he watches a high ball 4 that walks in a run. Myrick scoring 11-5 now. Silver Eagles up here in the bottom of the sixth.
And we actually have an RBI with all these wild pitches and errors and stuff. There have been a lot of runs driven in, but
Schultz watches ball 1. And then Schultz swings at the second one. It's hooking foul and right at the line. Caught for the out, the tag, and that will get another run in. Bringing in Staudy. And Scafito will go over to third. Schultz flying out to right. Kowakowski, the catcher, stepping in. With runners on the corner and 2 outs.
So through an inning, now we're at 11-6. Getting close here.
First pitch ball. Yeah, if Kowakowski can get a hold of one maybe, all of a sudden this is a 2-run game. He sends this one up the chute, chasing underneath it. Can't make the sliding play. McConnell over at third now. And he couldn't get the play underneath it. Excuse me, that was Semrau. And Silver Eagles, for those listening on the ESPN Wisconsin app, wearing gray jerseys with powder blue numbers, and now with the clouds opening up and the sun starting to set, lighting here sometimes hard to make out some of the numbers for the Silver Eagles. Kowakowski, a line shot right into the glove of the 6'5" Logan Hansen, and he snags it down for the third out of the inning.
Big play there. You get another base hit. Now it starts getting a little nervous. You get the
11-6 as we head into the final inning. Monona Grove leads Kettle Moraine. We'll be back for the top of the 7th inning after this on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
The News 3 Now First Warn Weather Team is certified for delivering the most accurate forecast in the entire state of Wisconsin. Morning meteorologist Savannah Brito.
When you're making plans, the weather often has other plans.
Evening meteorologist Blaze Keller.
At home, at work, or on the go, when we know, you'll know.
Chief meteorologist Alex Harrington.
Our team has the experience you can count on and the accuracy you can trust.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather, keeping you ahead of the storms.
What's next for Giannis and the Bucks?
Giannis was sold coming into the year on championship contention. They just have not been able to get on the same page about winning, about the future, about him.
Stay up to date right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Say 11-6. We head into the top of the 7th inning. Monona Grove on top of Kettle Moraine. It was a 3-run bottom of the 6th inning for the Lasers of Kettle Moraine.
3 runs on 2 hits. No errors, 2 left. 3 more walks in that inning. It's 8 walks for Monona Grove pitchers and 8 walks for the Lasers pitchers today.
And they were a batter away from being able to hit around in that inning as they brought up 8 players to the plate, did Kettle Moraine in that 3-run inning.
Yeah, waiting for little Aerosmith, walk this way. It was the way it was, walk this way to home plate.
The lights have now also turned on here at the Lake Country DockHounds Stadium here in Oconomowoc.
This is so cool. If you get a chance to visit here, as a
great
fan,
facility. I've driven past here because we can see the cars flying by on I-94 between Madison and Milwaukee, and driven past here hundreds of times. Only ever seen it driving by, and now being here, great facility. A slow chopper over to short, and that is pulled in by Scafito and fires over to first for the first out of the inning. Mason maybe grounding out to short. Cal Moreau stepping in now in the top of the 7th inning.
Moreau at his 5th at bat of the game. And a hit by
ball
pitch.
1.
A walk, a sac fly, and a base hit. So officially 1 for 1 on the day.
Can't hold up on the check swing, and he is 1-1 the count. Delivery, and Moreau watches strike 2. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. A 1-2 count to Cal Moreau. And he doesn't move the bat for ball 2.
Look at players in the area to keep an eye on this year. This is the guy that you want to pay money to come watch. Just let him take his cuts and to watch him in the field. Outstanding shortstop. He'll be playing probably short. He'll probably might get some pitching, but at the next level. Some schools, when Baldwin from Atlanta Braves from Madison West High School.
Full count, by the way. And Moreau swings on the full count. This gets caught into the wind and holds up.
Center field.
And Staudy able to get underneath it for the fly out. And, Dennis, you talk about how great of a hitter Moreau is there. It's going to go in the scorebook as an F8, but if that's played under any other conditions when we don't have the 10 to 15 mile an hour constant wind blowing directly into the face of Moreau, that's probably pretty close to a home run.
Yeah, you got a good handle on that one, but just got it up in the air drifts, and not too much you can do there. But a good day. You get on anytime you, as a leadoff hitter, you can get on base 3 times and score 2 runs. You're doing your job.
Chynoweth ahead. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs in the top of the 7th. He watches another ball. 3-0 for Chynoweth. Chynoweth also been active on the base paths. He struck out the first inning, but then he got on in the 3rd both times that he was up to bat in the 3rd, as well as then last inning he grounded out in the 5th. Chynoweth sending another one up into the air, and Staudy able to camp underneath it in center field for the 3rd out. 1/2 inning left to go, an 11-6 lead for Monona Grove. Kettle Moraine's last chance to extend this game, down by 5. When we come back here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
I worried about choosing the right two-year college where credits would transfer to UW, but I figured out a great path. At Madison College, I'm in the STEM program. The classrooms are intimate, instructors are engaging, and best of all, I'll be able to transfer to UW debt-free. My advice to others, start your journey here. You won't regret it. There's more to your story at Madison College.
Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
We're on the Badgers.
I think what jumped out to me first and foremost was Fickell's energy and his passion.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I'd say that's only increased as I've had a chance to sit down with him more.
This is 100.5 ESPN.
Silver Eagles lead Kettle Moraine Lasers. We head into the final inning here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. I'm Hunter Vaughn. Alongside me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau.
Yes, and a guy I was hoping to see throw today is out there. You got to love it. Donker's good. Logan Donker's good. The offensive lineman, starting center of the football team, and he looks like a lineman out there, doesn't he? A big young man. Bats right, throws right. Coming in with a 0.00 ERA and a strikeout and a walk in 2 innings down in Florida. Power pitcher. Yes, I'd say he's got a little bit behind him.
Yep. And Donker's good, along with playing on the O-line. Also would get some work on that really good defensive line for the Monona Grove football team.
Well, he was first team all-conference on offense, but second because he had too many other guys that were getting first team in front of him on his own team.
Yeah, that defensive line with Nick Gallagher and D'Angelo Clay really helped carry Monona Grove, and
And
First pitch of ball down and away, goes all the way to the backstop.
He's a junior, so we'll be seeing him again this fall.
Evan Miller at the plate, junior third baseman. Sends a hard ground ball over to third, and that ball goes past the first baseman. Miller will round and head over to second on the throwing error. Semrau was able to make the play at first, but that throw just getting past Bauler.
Only the second error, actually, of the game. We had a throwing error and a pickoff for the Lasers, but first Monona Grove error. They've been playing pretty good flawless defense, and it's the last thing you want to see is get a freebie here and give the Lasers some hope. Down by 5.
Donkersgood delivers, and a foul ball back up into the stands. Over to our left here in the press box at DockHounds Stadium. Miller has to jog back over to second base with no outs. A 1 count. Donkersgood sets. Gives a glance back to second.
And close the book on Hobowitz, by the way, 2/3 of an inning, and with a walk is what he gave up. And
Donkersgood steps off now.
1 run. Nope, no runs. So
Donkersgood gave a couple of looks back over to Miller at second, and then had to step off, and it's a low ball 1. 1-1 to Witt Jr.
And Donkersgood is the 5th Monona Grove pitcher today, so all the boys getting a little work here.
And that's a wild pitch from Donkersgood, sending Witt Jr. over to third easily. An error and a wild pitch, and all of a sudden with no outs, there's a runner over on third for Kettle Moraine.
Yeah, from here, the next 7 days, Monona Grove is playing Sun Prairie East on Wednesday, Saturday hosting Madison West, and Monday versus Middleton. That should be a good game. Middleton, one of the best teams in the Big 8.
Donkersgood able to fire in a strike, even it up at 2-2. Donkersgood with a runner on third.
Ooh.
Ball is up over the head of Micah Witt Jr.
Just a bit high.
Just a little bit. As Micah Witt Jr., the 6'2" first baseman, had to duck to make sure he didn't catch one on the noggin. Full count now. Donkersgood delivers, and he pounds the bottom of the strike zone.
Oh.
Micah Witt Jr. strikes out looking.
Second strikeout of the season for Logan.
Noah Smith coming up now. Has yet to get on base. He struck out looking last inning.
Got the horse collar, over 3.
He fouls the first pitch back. 0-1 to Noah Smith.
That's what coaches like. Just throw strikes. Put the ball up there and let him put it in play. When I was with the Badgers, Paul Quantrill once threw a 16-hitter at Indiana. He refused to walk anybody, and he did in that game. And somehow we won.
Foul tip that went off the glove of Chynoweth.
I remember that because that was when Michigan was in the championship game. We were trying to listen to the game on the bus ride back from Indiana.
You know, that's one of the things I love about baseball, Dennis, are those just crazy sort of games. Like, you don't get that kind of stuff with football, or I don't even know what the equivalent would be. You know, that 16-hit game. Can't walk anybody.
Through a 16-hitter. Yeah, Q is his son Cal is now pitching Major League, but Paul from Okemos, Michigan, we called him Hobbs, like Roy Hobbs. He always wanted to hit, but he couldn't hit his way out of a paper bag. Once pitched in 8 games in an 11-game road trip on spring break.
Ball up high, count even 2-2 to Smith with 1 out, runner on third.
we call the definition of the rubber arm. The day he was supposed to take off, we caught him long tossing in the outfield. Coach Land threatened to put him in a straitjacket. You like those kind of guys, though.
Yeah.
They love the game. But the characters of the game, Bill Lee, Spaceman, growing up, that was the guy that I followed. And they've all had their characters. The Mad Hungarian.
Ball up high, count full to Smith. Donker's good with the full count, delivers, and it's another strikeout looking with the full count. Logan Donker's good, delivers again. Back-to-back strikeouts looking. Man, Logan Donker's good. He's going to make you sweat if you're a coach, but he's going to figure out a way to get that out. And a first pitch swing, a high fly ball over to left, and it falls just in front of maybe, bringing in the run from third.
Evan Miller scores to make it 11-7.
An 11-7 score. Myrick makes it over to second then. We go back to the top of the order with the center fielder Chase Staudy. Scored last inning.
Staudy, Miller, and Witt all with 3 runs scored.
Staudy, a ground ball over to short. Moreau can't hold on to it. No play and 2 runners on. Uh-oh, Dennis.
There's a saying in baseball, sometimes you only get 3 chances for 3 outs. If you don't get those 3, kitty, bar the door or look out. Here it comes. Now.
Another Madison College mound visit. Chynoweth just going over to have a conversation with Donker's good.
When you get the potential tying run into the on-deck circle, that's when you start getting really nervous. But there were 2 outs. All they need is an out. Seal the deal here today.
Donker's good coming in this 7th inning. He's got 2 strikeouts. Needs to get that final out with runners on the corners, up 11-7 in the first pitch. High and inside for ball 1 to Scafito.
Scafito with a couple of hits and a hit by pitch, 2 for 3 today. Outstanding performance.
Scafito swinging on the second pitch, and it's strike 1. The ball just fell out of the glove of Chynoweth, so both runners, the runner on first and the runner on third, made a couple of steps over and then saw where the ball was, so they came back. Donker's good delivers, and it's fouled back into the seats. 1-2 now. Donker's good, a chance to get all 3 outs with strikeouts. He had 2 backwards Ks to Witt Jr. and Noah Smith.
A duplicate what Moreau did to end the first inning. Last 3 batters.
And delivery, and this is a wild pitch back to the backstop, and that will bring in another run. So Myrick comes in to score. Staudy advances over to second on the wild pitch. It's 11-8. 2 outs in the 7th. They play 7 here in high school baseball in Wisconsin. A fly ball out to center. McConnell underneath it, and that will do it. The final out, Scafito to center, and the Monona Grove Silver Eagles survive what was a scary 6th and 7th inning for an 11-8 victory here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. The Kettle Moraine Lasers fall to 0-1 on the season, and Monona Grove now 3-1 on the year. Dennis, some initial thoughts on this one.
Well, they made it interesting there. In the last inning, 2 runs on 1 hit, a couple of errors, and ended up leaving 1 on base. By the way, time of the game, 2 hours and 37 minutes. It's pretty long for a high school game, actually. Yeah, Kettle Moraine just kept kind of plucking away there. And, again, with the pitch count, I'm sure Moreau might have been able to go longer as the season goes on. And you look at Coach Connor with 3 games coming up here in the next 7 days. Had 5 pitchers go out there and throw today. And some had success. Moreau had some success. McConnell kind of struggled. Hobowitz got his 2 outs. And Logan looked pretty good out there throwing some strikes. And Alex Way, there's another guy getting his debut out to get some innings there. So I think good performance overall from Monona Grove, able to scratch out runs. You can tell early in the game, in the season, a lot of walks, 16 walks combined in the 2 teams. Only 2 errors. So for the most part, both teams are playing pretty good defense. But got to like the fact that Monona Grove was just relentless out there and attacking early, and that's part of the strategy. Is said really early in the game, they want to put some crooked numbers up there, and when you get 8 in the 3rd inning, that should do it. But I'm sure he's getting a little nervous there, and he'll probably say, "No, we had it in the bag."
Yeah, of course.
Not. It's not what he's telling the kids. It's like, hey, a W is a W, and sometimes you need to be able to learn how to put out fires. And then maybe Lonker's good might end up being a closer type, the way you can bring some heat there. Right now, this is so early in the season. Guys are still battling for positions. Coaches are trying to figure out, where do I want to put my players? What kind of versatility? Like the Brewers have such great versatility. Guys can play so many different spots. And you want to find out where everybody's kind of spot is. But, boy, Moreau as a leadoff hitter. And you look at the top hitters from Monona Grove, did a really good job. And then on the other side for Kettle Moraine, Stoddy had a really good game. And so did Evan Miller and Michael Witt. And again, for them, you're down 11-1, and you're going, oh, this is only going to be a 5-inning game. And what's the first thing you do? Let's extend it. They played 7, and they put a little scare into MG at the end. So great finish.
11-8, the final score. The Monona Grove Silver Eagles hang on for the 11-8 victory over Kettle Moraine. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we will wrap things up and name our Pizza Hut player of the game here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
It's bracket season, and Pizza Hut's got the watch party covered. Score a large 3-topping pizza for just $10. Try it on Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed crust. Crispy and golden on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside, and finished with garlic parm seasoning for that classic pizzeria vibe. Or get the original pan, thin and crispy, or Chicago Tavern style. Big flavor, big savings. Just $10. Your bracket might not survive, but this deal will win it all. Order today at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. Pizza Hut, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
Maybe they don't have this boatload of millions of dollars that other blue blood programs have, but it's not like that they're saying, oh, woe is me, I'm going to sit and just wallow. They're very much about problem solvers and figuring out how they can get it to work with what they have.
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions. Streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Brewers baseball is back.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
Tune in all season right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
High school sports fans, News 3 Now keeps you covered all day with the weather you need to plan ahead. What's happening in the community and local sports across Madison and southern Wisconsin. Stay informed with the latest local news on News 3 Now. 11-8, the final score. The Monona Grove Silver Eagles get the win over the Kettle Moraine Lasers. For Monona Grove's first win here in the state of Wisconsin. They played 3 games down in Florida to open up their season. But Dennis, it's that time in our post-game show, your favorite part of the post-game show. We have to name our Pizza Hut player of the game.
No one out-pizzas the Hut, and no one outperformed this player tonight. The player of the game is presented by Pizza Hut, the official pizza of PrepMania. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Dennis, who's our Pizza Hut player of the game?
Well, let's see. Carson McConnell had a good game for Monona Grove with 2 hits, but I'm going to go with Cal Moreau. Started out the game pitching with 3 innings, a lot of 3 hits on 1 earned run with 4 strikeouts. But as the leadoff hitter, got on 3 times, scored 2 runs, had a single, and in the 8-run 3rd inning, he led off with a bunt single, and then also drew a walk and scored 2 runs in that inning. Drove in 2 runs. Just a solid all-around game for Cal, and he is the best player, as the coach said, probably that he's coached. And you want your big players to make big plays in big games, and he was a big factor in this one. So congrats to Cal Moreau.
Cal Moreau, our Pizza Hut player of the game in the 11-8 victory for Monona Grove. Pizza Hut has changed the combo game with their My Hut box. Get your choice of 2-topping personal pan pizza, a half melt or a full melt, and your choice of side, either boneless wings or fries, starting at only $6.99. Find the nearest location and order now online at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, the official pizza of PrepMania. No one out-pizzas the Hut. 11-8, our final score in our first game of PrepMania baseball here on ESPN Madison. Again, we're going to have games all spring long as the weather cooperates for us here in the Madison area. And then if things go according to the plan, even some postseason baseball potentially here for us on ESPN Madison. Dennis, your final thoughts here as we start this new era of high school sports coverage on ESPN Madison, covering baseball now.
Well, for Kettle Moraine, you lose, but hey, come right back tomorrow, same place. Beaver Dam, same time, 4:30, game that was rescheduled from last week. And then they got Hartford 2 days later. Monona Grove, they get to host Sun Prairie East, 5 o'clock. So you're looking at 2 of the big dogs in the Madison area. Sun Prairie, obviously, longtime state champs under Coach Hamilton. They split into 2, East and West, and they're both really good programs. So East with Jack Marchese as the head coach, looking to win the Big 8 this year. So that'll be a good Badger Large Big 8 conference battle.
And that does it for our first baseball game here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. Huge thank you to our audio producer, Owen Dimful, for braving the cold to get things on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, and a big thank you to our audio producer Riley Yauk, staying for the whole 2.5 hours for this game, as he's missing the tip-off of an intramural basketball game. So we'll let Riley go get to his basketball game. For the Dean, Dennis Semrau, I'm Hunter Vaughn. This has been Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible.